history in LAN championships. Playing for his life right now in this middle hardpoint. Optic Gaming out to an early lead, but that's expected when spawning from this rock side.
Exactly, they get the favorable spawn, but the test is going to be, can they rack up some time and then push through the spawns, flip them for the next hardpoint. Scump gets a two-piece, but Zero and Mad Cat still left standing, and you'll see they still control the left side of that minimap as Optic Gaming spawning in hangar.
Optic Gaming gonna have to fight for these spawns. An awkward cluster grenade there from Jerd actually kills his teammate, and that might be the green light for the green wall to push on through. It looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. The slow push now towards this new hardpoint, and look at these yellow arrows on the map. Splice spawning out. This might be a blessing in disguise, though, as they've got a great time to flood through to this new hill.
It is, and thankfully, I mean, if you're Formal, you're able to trade that out. You lose that fight, you give the two-piece to the Splice player inside a turbine, and things might go very differently. But as I say that, Splice busts right back through.
Absolutely.
They get a solid timing. One spawns out. You see that number 7 at 0. Depending on when he's able to get in the action, this could be deadly for Optic Gaming, or this could be a fantastic break for Optic Gaming.
Oh, no, I think it's going to be the latter. Scump at 6 and 3. Another 3 streak from him. Look at the challenge on the 0. He's confident right now, Maven. Optic take back control of not only the hill, but the lead, as they're now up by 5.
Exactly, he gets there like 2 seconds earlier, maybe able to make a play, but as it stands, Optic trying to grow this lead. You'll see one player in 0 has already rotated all the way over to hangar at the top right of the minimap, so he's going to spawn his teammates there as they're getting set up with, but that was 20+ seconds left in this hardpoint. They're giving it up. They want to make sure they get set up for a solid hold and hangar. The question is, how is Optic Gaming get set for the break? It looks like they're going to get a scarab out from Crim6.
Yep, so Crim will sit in that old hard point, call on the Scarab, so they know it's only going to be three pushing forward for OG. Scarab now in, they're going to try to follow this one up. Scump plays his life, he gets 0 weak. Great communication there now as the pinch comes in. Jerd and crew have their hands full. The green arrows surrounding, Karma with one, Scump and Crim with the others. A clean a break as he can get there for the green wall.
That was flawless. They want to play behind the Scarab. They do just that. Communication and trading seem to be on point thus far for Optic Gaming. Splice absolutely still in this. And, you know, you have this lead with Formal, who has been the statistical leader for pretty much all players, is 1 and 4 right now. It's Big Daddy Scump that's 10 and 7 leading the way.
Yeah, Scump, he tweeted just before this match started that he spilled a bottle of water all over his pants.
Okay.
Who knows if that'll help him here. Might be a new fad that people will start. As now Jerd just staying alive, dancing around with his hardpoint. He gets challenged by Karma. Wins the engagement, 0's there for the trade, so Splice will get the scrap time, and that'll bring this game back within 10 seconds.
Getting right back into it, 0. He's on your screen right now, and he has been a truly special player throughout this year. I know a bit inconsistent recently, but when he is on point, he can be considered the best player in the world, and they need him at that level to beat Optic Gaming.
Well, you look at the abysmal start Formal's had. 1 and 5, only 6 seconds in total for his team in the hardpoint. If he can begin to heat up, you expect Optic to run away with this map. Again on rotation, OG get the kills they need, so they'll force the spawns out for Splice. So far, the last 2 make it even 3 hills. Optic have won the gunfights on rotation. That's why they have this lead.
They absolutely have, but they haven't been able to really get that full hold and push this lead. Splice did a good job getting at least the tail end of that hangar hardpoint. Can they fly in now to drill? 3 kills go the way of Optic Gaming. The first push from Splice shut down. Mad Cat needs to stay alive here. He's going to need help from his teammates, but Formal able to pick him up, but it's a 2-piece from 0. Make it 3 from 0 that cracks through with 10 seconds remaining. It's not a lot of time, but it's something.
Hey, you know what? Splice are keeping this one close. Again, the worry for me, when Formal begins to ignite, how do Splice stop the slaying presence of this Optic Gaming squad?
And I know you've mentioned it a couple times, but it's because we've seen it so many times.
Oh, yeah.
Whether Scump start slow, Formal start slow, there's a reason they average around a 1-2 when it comes to bracket play at major events. They are going to pick it up at some point. The question is, can Splice withhold that terror when it comes?
Well, from 1 and 5 to now 7 and 6, Formal's turned things around. Optic out to a 30-second lead. Scump, I can tell you, man, his gunfire is looking good right now. 14 and 13 from him in this map. Karma just playing this hard point, doing what he does best. He's the guy that makes sure Optic Gaming wins games.
And when you're at a central hard point like Bridge right now and you can spend 10 seconds without having to shoot your gun, the rest of your teammates picking up kills around. But now the break comes in for Splice. 2 kills in a row for 0, 2 for Mad Cat as well. So far, from a slaying standpoint, it has been the 0 show for Splice.
Yep.
He's going to need the other guys here to certainly step it up.
This is a key rotation for Splice. They're going to begin to move towards this turbine side. Slaying about dead even between these 2 teams. You've got 4 members of Splice here. Only Karma for Optic Gaming. He's now dead. A great push from Splice. This is an example, Maven, of now where they've got to hold 30, 40, 50 seconds on this hill.
This is huge for Splice. What a fantastic push on through as they wiped out everybody. Now, can they deal with the opening? No Scarab. Yes, there is a Scarab to play behind. Formal's going to call it in. Will that be enough to damage someone to maybe push on through? They play behind it, but Mad Cat ready and waiting. Kills one, tags up the second. Jerd there to pick it up. Formal, the last man, pushing the outside from Optic Gaming, but Scump and Formal actually both here. They're trying to crush on through. Scump with a big two-piece as they've made the play.
I think that's a perfect example of what Scump was talking about in the interview I did with him yesterday. He said our hard point's looking great right now. Look at the coordination each time Optic go for a break. They follow up the Scarab. They have their game plan, and they follow through with it. There's no hesitation on the team, and so far it's working out flawlessly.
Right? I mean, both their breaks, the tough ones, into Hangar, into Turbine, have both been behind that Scarab. You can see they are on point right now with these retakes. A big part of why they're leading the game right now.
Scump heating up 17 and 15. He's got two players around him, does get cut down. Splice again on the rotation. Last time it was a Scarab that broke them on this hill. I don't know if Optic have any to work with. And as I say it, Formal snaps. He's now 10 and 2 since his 1 and 5 start.
Yeah, you knew it was going to happen. And that's a big 1v1. When you're going up against Zero, you know, kind of your counter in this game. The guy, if he's going to light you up, it's going to be him. Winning one-on-ones like that can be crucial to rack it up a lot of time. Now waiting on the next approach here from Splice.
Oh gosh, he spots him. I mean, Optic are only outslaying by 3 or 4 kills right now, Maven, but it's where the kills come in. Take note, the bottom right of your screen, Formal, about to earn that FTL jump. 1 kill off the Trinity Rocket, an example of one of those streaks and abilities that can help close the door on Splice here in map 1.
Well, here we go. He might find it. You see on X-ray, he's got one top right.
Bye-bye.
Got it. Tries to get away with his life now. Maybe he can get the bombardment as well. Streak up to 5. And the poor start seems to be all but a distant memory.
Oh, most certainly is at this point. Does he find the 6th streak and the bombardment in the next few moments? Optic now with their biggest lead of the game, up by 80. Formal and Scump, the duo, slowly pushing up. There it is. FTL earned, bombardment earned. And this lead from Optic Gaming is holding strong.
And these are why streaks are huge. He's going to use the bombardment there at Drill to try and clear it out. What does he connect with? Like, forces one right into him. Streak up to 7, 15 and 7, minute 16 in the hard point. The streak continues to go. Formal on cruise control right now. Finally, Bance able to take him out.
Folks, he was 1 and 5. He's now 16 and 8. He's got 15 and 3 since we critiqued him earlier on. He's also now leading his team in objectives. So when he had the least objective and least kills, he's now right up there with the rest of the squad. OG still up by 70. Splice, I mean, they're not having a terrible map. They're just being simply outplayed by Optic Gaming.
They certainly are right now. And I think it comes down to those 2 breaks behind the Scarab, right? And Hangar and a Turbine that turned into what? 30 to 40 points on each for Optic Gaming. You can look back at that. It's just it's a coordinated take. It's perfectly done.
We've talked about the ups and downs of Splice so far this year. They were your stage 1 champions, but since then have looked like a shell of their former self. Optic, though, look cool, calm, and collected as they won the most recent major tournament at stage 2. 233 to 149, maybe they want to shut the door here.
Let's see if they can win it on bridge. Scump leading the way, runs into several players from Splice. Formal now has a lot to deal with. The FTL, the slide, but Jerd, the fist to the face, able to take him out. Krim, next man in as they continue to flood. Don't want to give Splice any time to breathe. Kills really just going back and forth. And yes, we have seen some crazy comebacks, but I just don't see how you come back from this large a deficit. 2 down, 3 down, the 4th down.
It's all muscle now for OG. Scump 25 and 20. Reactive armor earned. He's challenging everything he can. GG, map number 1 goes to Optic Gaming in dominating fashion.
Welcome to LaGrange, Georgia, USA, where all Duracell AA and AAA batteries are assembled. One factory, one set of standards. But what about Energizer Max AA's? They're assembled around the world. You can check for yourself right at the shelf. But Duracell AA's are assembled in the USA.
How?
Those are on me. Just kidding, you gotta pay for those.
It was all about the search and destroy woes for Optic Gaming coming into champs last year. This year, your primary concern as a fan or viewer was the hard point. looking good right now.
Yeah, and again, if there's a silver lining here for Splice, they are 5-0, undefeated in Search and Destroy so far this weekend at the Call of Duty World League Championships. A must-win map too, in my opinion.
And the last person you saw on your screen there was Zero, and he started out very good. He was dominating. Formal starts slow, Zero's crushing. That complete, it's like this, just completely flipped over what the second half of that game as Formal started to dominate. Obviously not the sole reason they won. I still think it's those 2 breaks behind the Scarabs.
Oh, exactly.
Just perfect coordinated takes on the 2 hardest hard points to break. Fantastic stuff from Optic.
And listen, everyone's experienced it, right? You get a slow start to a map. Some people have it more than others, right? Everyone knows that one friend. Mine was my buddy Vega. He would always be terrible at the start of maps and be holding us back. There it was Formal. They were basically playing 3v4 and staying even with Splice. Then Formal kicks it into gear like he does, and you look, it was what, almost a 3-minute swing in time.
Yeah.
We can't stress it enough. Formal's that good that he will find his groove and take over the map.
And it's worth mentioning, they were already up 22. They were winning at that point as well. So I think that's even the scariest thing. When you say it was a quote-unquote 3 versus 4, they still were in the lead. All right, shot of Scump there. One of the greatest players in Call of Duty history, searching for his first Call of Duty ring. Is this the year? Will 2017 be the year that cements his legacy as one of the greatest? I got a feeling.
I think Mad Cat and crew, they're not going to go down easy here. I feel confident in them here in Search and Destroy. Going into map number 2, the question for me, the sniper play, the first bloods we saw with Envy and Ghost in match 1, how key first bloods were, especially for the side of Envy to take that map with ease at 6-2. Will it be Splice or Optic Gaming who will find the advantage here? If you're just tuning in, this is the Call of Duty World League Championship presented by PS4. $1.5 million on the line. These 2 teams won the 2 biggest events earlier in the year. Stage 1 champions Splice, Stage 2 champions Optic. And that man on your screen has won more LAN championships than anyone in Call of Duty history at what, 31? Is it 31 now?
Yeah, I mean, he could very well go down as the greatest. We had the conversation the other day. It's like, if this team wins champs, who do you call the greatest? Karma with the 3 rings, Grim with all the champions and championships, and there's Zero. One of the best players in Europe last year, continues to dominate this year. And that's one of the biggest storylines of this matchup. I know opinions change throughout the course of the year, but right now, coming into this weekend, Splice, the best team coming out of Europe, Optic Gaming, the best team coming out of North America, and they're meeting in winners round 2.
It's insane. The talent that's here this weekend still going on the Bravo stream as well. We've got 2 broadcasts live at once, get both open, and that sign says Scump is my daddy. Okay, well, you know what? Welcome to champs.
He's going to be a great father someday.
He really is. As Seth probably not thinking about having children right now on the main stage. He's got a Search and Destroy to play, but here we go. It's game number 2. Optic Gaming versus Splice. The green wall up 1-0.
Offense first for Optic Gaming. Checking Crim's POV. He will typically be the off man on a lot of these maps. Let his teammates play the 3-man front as he deals with pressure from multiple angles. He gets several here, 1 shot. We'll see as he wraps back. Formal hit with attack, but now out to plat.
Formal peeks and says, no, okay, I see a 0, I'll back on up. 4 versus 3 for Splice as they look for the retake.
Formal now pushing into market. You see on X-ray, he's got 2 just on the opposite side of this wall. He's got a little help to work with in Karma. They start to push forward. He's tagged up and dropped. 4v2, make it 4v1. Scump, last man up. Just got to defend this. There's only 19 seconds. Scump can win this round.
Absolutely possible. This is 100% possible. Scump gonna see the second. Tries to challenge. He's gonna have to check his bomb too. Gets banned 1 shot. Slides on out. Peeks the bomb. Sees the player. Can't get it done. If he did that. Oh my goodness. He just barely spotted him, but couldn't land the bullets.
It's like he got like an awkward bounce there, right? He saw him for a second and couldn't pull the trigger. That second. Oh, it's like if he didn't land on the ledge. Exactly. I thought it was a bounce. He did land on that ledge. That's what didn't give him the angle. He lands right before that. He might be able to make the play.
Wow, so close. Mad Cat and crew, they get first blood, and they use that advantage to win the round.
2 days? Who takes down the decorations 2 days after Christmas?
Never mind that. We've got a heck of a game today. Ravens-Packers at Lambeau.
Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love.
The holiday exclusive, Ravens-Packers, Saturday, December 27th on Peacock.
Smart founders know something most people miss. Get your domain name even if you're not ready to launch your business. With Wix, you can grab yours now and then get to work. Here's why it matters. Back in 2019, I had this killer business idea, but I delayed getting the domain name because I wasn't ready. That was a huge mistake. Someone else grabbed it, built the exact same business I planned, and now they're making all the money that I could have been making. And that's why I'm sharing this. Locking down your domain name is crucial, and on Wix, it's super fast. They handle all the tricky tech stuff for you, making it seamless. And honestly, having a domain name gives your idea instant credibility. A domain name isn't just a name, it's a way to claim your space and take your idea seriously. Because once it's taken, you're stuck paying a premier price for it or losing it. So go to Wix right now, search your idea. If the domain is available, grab it.
And you got a big first round there at a 0. Remember, this is a guy, when you look back to Stage 1 playoffs, statistically, I mean, his KD overall was insane, but his search and destroy was otherworldly. I mean, it was amazing to watch. It's like he was dropping double digits every single search. Great first round from him.
Talking a lot about E-United and Clayster, a crew that many people think could challenge out of Optic Gaming for this title. They just won their matchup on the Bravo stage. If you're just tuning in from that match, this is 1-0 Optic Gaming over Splice. As we've just started up Search and Destroy, Splice get a free plant here, and they'll back it up. Post-plant setup, this is exactly how they wanted this round to go.
Let's see how Optic try to retake this. 0, worried about the flank, snaps. Nice shots on the Crim 6. Karma now hitching forward. He sees one trying to line him up, but Vance wins another 1 versus 1. Another terrible situation here for Optic Gaming as they're in a 2v4. Scott's trying to turn the tides. Formal doing what he can to do damage in the back. Now, though, left alone. Time against him. Nothing he can do. No shot at all. That's the reason why I said it was the exact start to the round that Splice wanted, because look at how impenetrable that setup was. 1-0 gets that kill on Crim 6 on the flank. That round's done. There is no chance for Optic to win unless there are some huge blunders by Splice. Yeah, I mean, once you get that set up, it's almost on Crim. Like, he has to win that 1v1. And that's not a 1v1 you should win by any means. But if anyone's going to do it, maybe Crim will be the guy.
Hell, he's sprinting into the pre-aimed AR.
Exactly. I'm surprised he got him that weak.
Yeah, but look at 0. He's not running the Scarab. He's going for 3 of the higher tiered streaks. Scorchers you can get away with on this map because of that long bridge that you can launch them down. Typically, you don't see it. Jerd with the beautiful first blood onto Crim, but a quick trade from Scum.
And Jerd, he dropped 16 last night on Crusher. He was an absolute animal.
He spotted Karma. He should challenge
flying at him, Karma. Bye-bye. 2 kills now. Working on the ace is Jerd.
He's going for the 3rd.
Yep. 3rd in the back. That's going to be Formal to deal with. Scump now gone. Formal by himself. Formal gone. 3. Oh, Splice. Crushing right now here in retaliation.
Not surprised to see it. They're undefeated in Search and Destroy so far this weekend. And the thing we've always said is, in competitive Call of Duty, S&D wins championships. And if they can keep this up, sneak a respawn off Optic, that might be their recipe for success.
Which is, I mean, again, Optic's bread and butter. I mean, they're good at all modes, but their search has been unbelievable. Yet they come in and get smoked 6-0 here by Splice. Obviously, I mean, Splice can take a respawn.
Formal, Crim 6, and Karma, a combined 0 and 9 to start this map. As I say that, Crim does get the first blood for OG, as Vance will have to run for his life.
I think that's the first blood Optic's gotten. That, oh god, wow. Crim was losing that one for sure. Mad Cat able to trade it out, but he should be shot in the back in a second. Looks like a round may finally go the way of Optic Gaming, but Vance, don't count him out yet. 1 versus 2, making it a 1 versus 1. Formal, last man up, not in a position to trade.
Almost nowhere near him. Vance can absolutely take this round. See the timing that these two players get. 45 seconds remaining. Vance is going to continue to stay active on the map. He might have a chance to secure this round for his team to put his squad up 4-0. As again, both players just dancing around each other.
It's a guessing game right now, right?
Yep.
Just trying to get what information you can as you clear around the map. As soon as Formal goes to check the opposite bomb site, Vance wraps back.
And that stage is set.
Now he knows what's up. 1 versus 1. Formal, Vance.
Look, if he gets this kill too, he'll get closer to that camo, earn the Scarab. Vance for the 1v3, gets it done! You can't give those up if you're Optic Gaming. You see the hype from Splice, and it's for damn good reason.
Vance has been so good. So good. I mean, I feel like, again, he's been overshadowed maybe a little bit by 0 this year, but
yeah.
I mean, he was best player at Champs last year, probably outside of John, who won MVP. I mean, he might have even been better than John that event. I mean, Vance was incredible.
You could have made a case for him to be MVP of Champs last year. You could have made a case for him to be MVP when Splice won Stage 1 playoffs. That obviously went to 0. But either way, Splice up 4-0. Karma at 0-4. Rough map for him.
Vance just waiting behind cover. Looking to push forward. He's tagged. Krim, a first blood there. It's back-to-back first bloods now for Optic Gaming. The question is, can they actually turn this into a round win? Jerd getting aggressive. Jerd punished. 3 versus 2 now in favor of Optic.
Absolutely still winnable for Splice, and especially with this positioning Zero's about to find himself in. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. If he turns his corner just in time. I think he does spot the player on the wall run. There goes Crimsix, 2v2.
Let's hop over to Formal if we can.
Nope.
Yep, he just took out Mad Cat. Zero now by himself.
Wow, okay. Going for the high challenge. 1v2 again, take note, his streak was ended. And with this little time left, I mean, he's got to get moving. Takes 7.5 seconds to defuse the bomb, so he has 15 seconds to eliminate these 2 players or make a play for that objective.
Spotted 1. He's trying to push through. He's running from him. He should have the kill. He's right next to him. Can't win it. That was awkward, but Formal gets the better of him, and he did not have a lot of life left.
Not at all. We'll see it again here from Formal's perspective. As again, just so happens to hop right in front of him. There he is. Formal cuts him down to put Optic Gaming on the board.
Yeah, you see both POVs. Very, very awkward gunfight. Formal gets the vision first and able to barely take that gunfight.
I got something that'll cheer you up, Jack. I go the other way. Try to shut up when I'm sick. Snap back when my knees go weak. What's happening to me?
New Effaclar patches by La Roche-Posay. Spot the difference in 3 hours. 420 microns technology, ultra absorbing. Goes on invisible. New Effaclar patches by La Roche-Posay.
And even that's one that I feel like Optic, they get a 4v2 advantage. I still don't feel comfortable for them in that round.
It's true. Karma still looking for his first kill. Woo. Optic chance starting in the venue, trying to give their team a little bit of energy as they've been flat throughout this one.
Karma yet to find a kill this game. This could be his chance here. Goes to peak plat. There it is. Gets first blood.
That's a nice win too. Erad against K-Bar at that range, especially flying out like that. Good first kill. Scump able to take out the Scarab before it damages him. Zero now waiting at the bottom of the scaffolding. Will they check it? Yes, they do. Scump with a kill. 2 versus 4 now. Can Mad Cat and Vance make the clutch? Well,
nope.
Got scary there for a second.
FTL jump earned for Formal. I believe he'll get a streak from this defuse as well. Optic slowly fighting back in this game. What was a 4-0 lead for Splice, now down to just 4-2.
Trying to think of the last crazy comeback Optic had. What was it? The 1-5 versus Luminosity?
That was a while ago.
That was a real long time ago, yeah. But I mean, they're rare. We've seen a lot of 2-5s. Right now, though, 4-2 still very much alive in this, and it seems like they're starting to get in the groove. Formal 225 off the Trinity Rockets.
Crimsix spots multiple players here from Splice pushing bridge, and he'll call that out to his team. Should be a fast plan for Optic Gaming, which, again, playing off information, super key in search of destroy.
Crim6 tags one up and backs out.
So now, are they going to flood through, or are they just going to play for bite control? This might be awkward for Optic. Zero with the chance to play the pinch. As, yeah, look at the pressure. Here it comes. Zero's there. Gets the first blood for his team. Second kill. Gets Formal one shot. Can't clean it up.
Somehow, Formal lives through that, and they do get the trade. 3v3. Jerd soaring into bike. Picks up a kill. Is anyone going to stick this? Formal has a chance to make a play. I believe they're on it. Someone's got to check it. Someone's got to check it. Someone's got to check it. No one does, and that's a defuse for Splice.
Not planted for market. Optic get full control of the site. Because I don't know if they had anyone plat, but since they did it, they had no confidence to plant it for this top market area. And because of that, smart heads-up play from Splice to hop that objective, forced Optic to push down that archway, and from there, it doesn't get much easier than that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought after he got that kill, he might just soar out and check, but in a 2 versus 2, you can't really, you gotta play your life for a moment as you got tagged up in that one-on-one gunfight. fight. All right, well, Formal did get the Trinity Rockets, but they have a 3-round deficit here, Jack. Not going to be easy.
Scump again, just playing for information. He's not challenging anything on that lower street. It's Trinity Rocket time though. And look at the players from Splice. Scatter does the precision shot. Get that first blood. Scump there as well. Now he's hungry for kills. 1, 2, make it 3. No. The trade is there for Optic as they bring this one back to 5-3.
Mad Cat gets a couple of kills, but not before falling. And one round away for
you know
Splice
what?
here.
Formal uses the Trinity there. You know, okay, you're on offense. They already used the Trinity. Formal, though, does stay alive on that streak, if I'm not mistaken, so he can still earn that tier 3 streak.
I want to see what the payloads look like when we get into the next round.
Yep, so he's 1 kill off bombardment.
Can he get it done? No payloads available for Optic. Centurion out now for Splice.
So, to quickly explain, they're going to leave that lane that now open. They know they've got that covered. The only way that this can actually be exploited is a bedroom push, which Formal trying to peek on in. Vance is there and ready, though. Cheeky little spot.
That could be.
And look, if they try to flood out middle now, watch what happens. They'll get tagged by a Centurion. Look, Crim6 now there. They know he's here. Crim has to back up and play his life.
Finally, they get Vance, but he got the 2 opening kills that could seal the deal here. In round number 9, Crim trying to push the market. He lights up an apple.
That apple was threatening. Prop hunt.
Yeah. Wrapping around the back. They're going to have to clutch. A 2 versus 3. 1 to the left, 2 to the right. As he peeks in, there's a free kill. 2 versus 2 now. Gets away with his life. Bomb gets planted as well. Not able to react. So here we go. Karma. Very slow start. Sitting at 3 and 7.
To keep his team alive on the map.
But many consider one of the best clutch players in the game. Here we go.
Oh!
Gotta finish that one.
Wide right on the final shot. Karma, though, still in this 1 versus 2. Time ticking down. Players now soaring forward. This should end here momentarily. There it is. Splice with this map victory will move to 6-0 in S&D this weekend. And Maven, it puts a smile on my face because we've got a series on our hands.
That's what carried this team at Stage 1 playoffs. They were so good in Search. All 4 players were in the top 10 at that event in Search and Destroy KD. They were unbelievable throughout. It seems to be on that pace here. They play like that. They are absolutely a contender for the title.
Ooh, we got ourselves a tied series now. 1-1. Uplink coming up next. Either way, both of these teams strong really across all game modes. Optic looking better in Hardpoint. You begin to think, you know, with how good Splice have looked at Search and Destroy, is Game 3 and Game 4 must win for Optic Gaming.
That's kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Yeah, if they're going to be that dominant, I feel like Splice is definitely going to take a respawn. I just don't see Optic winning all 3. It's very difficult to do.
Yep.
I think this goes the distance. I think we're going to see a Game 5 for sure.
I'm looking around. More and more people continue to flood into the venue. And, you know, a lot of gamers here. The day starts at 1 p.m. for most of them, and it's reaching that time. Either way, though, the match well underway. It's 1-1 between Optic Gaming and Splice. When we come back from this break, we'll head on into Uplink in Game 3.
Then Olita. Shop now at coachoutlet.com.
gentlemen, here is your G Fuel key player matchup between Optic Gaming and Splice. And we talk about how good Formal is, and you see the numbers he's putting up so far this weekend. A 1.61 uplink KD, 15 total points. He's leading the uplink leaderboards. On the other side, though, Splice and Bance. If Bance can get up in Formal's face, he might be the key to success for this team on this map. We have ourselves a tied series. It's 1-1. Can Optic Gaming or Splice take the series edge and go up 2-1 to be on match point? We'll find out here. This has been your G Fuel key player matchup.
I started playing Call of Duty with my brother's friends. After playing football, we'd go in, play like 2v2s together on Call of Duty 4. My mum bought me a PlayStation and I played every game really, played GBs. That's when I first got like introduced technically as Modern Warfare 2 GBs, 2v2s. Mum, I knew I could do this professionally is when I got picked up for Xanax. We started winning. Even though it was online, it was still like shine of hope that I could do this full time.
Bance contesting, Bance winning the gunfight.
I've received quite a lot of criticism because obviously people first found out about me technically on Call of Duty Championships.
But it's still all up to Bance to try and get in here and make a play. I don't think there's enough time. 15 seconds left. And there you have it. Team Envious are your 2016 Call of Duty World League champions.
Losing when getting to the finals of the Call of Duty Championships was the worst feeling ever. Everything we grinded for throughout the year just went straight down the drain.
Not ideal by any stretch of the imagination for any Splice fans out there, but Envy kill it.
This year as a team is probably the most confident I'm ever going into events. Obviously the likes of Madcat, Jerd and Zero, 4 best European players. Everything feels right this year and just hopefully we can grind out and get that first place. Winning Call of Duty Champs is just everything for anyone really. It would be the highlight of anyone's career. We've been named as the God Squad and so we're just working towards that first place. The one title that just means everything. I'm confident this is a year for Splice.
Taxes was feeling unwelcome. Now Taxes is an open door to new TurboTax stores. Meet our experts. They do your taxes, so you can walk out with confidence. Now this is Taxes.
Welcome back. It is time for Uplink, and if you are a European fan, 1, you need Bance to be your superstar. 2, you're excited because we're headed to Throwback, which is statistically Optic Gaming's worst uplink by a mile.
And it's also the best uplink by a mile for Splice. The player with the most uplink points of the team is Bance, the man on your screen. You can see him talking strategy with his team, getting ready for map number 3. We've got ourselves a tied 1-1 series. The Amway Center now starting to fill on up with eager Call of Duty fans. This is a taste of what the Call of Duty World League Championship is, and to think there's still so many more series to be played today, and then on top of it all, tomorrow, Championship Sunday, where we find out who will be our Call of Duty World League champions here in 2017.
And I know it's early on Saturday, but this is a matchup you could see in a grand final. That's what makes this so special, right?
Yep.
Oh God, I just feel like I think Splice takes this uplink. I think Optic takes the hard point, and we're going to a game 5, pal.
Let's get it started, folks, in the Amway Center. Make some noise. It's game 3, throwback uplink between Optic Gaming and Splice.
See what Bance can do early off the rip. Pressure coming from Optic Gaming. But he's able to slide out, hip fire, and pick up a kill. Second in front, Mad Cat looking over. That's 3 down for Optic. Drone to Mad Cat. Could be early points.
Yeah, and Bance already playing this high wall run. Crim not expecting it at all. Love these different angles and sight lines the players take to catch their opponents off guard. Bance again playing sneaky. Why would Formal ever expect him to be there? The throw goes in from 0. Bance still in full control of the base. This is perfect. Nice job, Bance. We just did a whole profile piece on you. We talked about how you're the key player, and now you're 5-0 off the break.
My God, he is dominating and getting awfully close to streaks, but it's Karma with the fist to the face to take him down and slow him down. 60 seconds in. Splice so far in control. But it's 0 and Bance right now trying to make sure they can't apply pressure forward. Optic just not able to find a foothold in this one so far.
Coming into this match, Formal, the #1 uplink KD at a 1.61.
The 43 and 18 game he had probably helped.
ridiculous stats. Throwback a map, though, where if he can't get set up in your bike with that NV4, it might spell disaster for Optic Gaming. And that's scary because the Europeans, especially on this map, love to bring this drone towards top field. It's 4 dead for Optic. This is an absolute dunk from Jerd, as Splice will go up 3-0 in the first 90 seconds.
Yeah, and they spawn out by Silo, so 0 could have a couple free kills. Yeah, they pinched from both sides. I was curious because they couldn't spawn on the uplink as they were collapsing. They spawned pretty close to 0. He just has to turn and find a couple kills, but Optic finally something to go their way. This should be a counter dunk, or at least a 1-point throw. 1 on through. Formal and Karma both still here. Karma trying to stay alive. There's 2 pressure him, but it's Bance yet again. He is 9-4 to start things off.
You see Karma had the right idea with the nade. He threw towards the portal. Doesn't get the kill, though. Scump the furthest pushed up now for Optic Gaming. Looks like they're going to regain their foothold for a second. Scump now dead. 0 gets the better of him there. Quick 2-piece from 0 with that in. The quick 3-piece now between him and Mad Cat to wipe Optic off the map.
Thank God for Crim. Those are crucial kills for Optic Gaming. He's at mid. He kills 2. He even is able to push to the other side and be a nuisance in behind Mad Cat.
He's gonna kill Mad Cat as well.
That's incredible. That's a god play from Crim. Only 1 alive. You end up getting 3 kills. That's the difference between Splice likely getting points and now you maybe getting a dunk. He finally drops, but there's the point. 3-2 Splice.
Crim 6 makes that score possible. Formal still here. He should be dead here momentarily, right? There's no way he finds more than that 1 kill. Yeah, there it is. Mad Cat cleans him up, but either way, Crim 6. You think of that play when you make the MVP case later on this weekend.
And there again, Formal staying alive for that long, finding a kill. It allows his teammates to come off spawn, at least get set up at mid-map, so Splice can't move forward. I mean, it's kind of got an ebb and flow to it, right? And uplink, it's back and forth, and Splice control early. Optic Gaming has maintained it. Well, I take that back. Now is Splice. Bance in another deadly position here.
He has not slowed down. He's using this third-person perspective to scout where the enemies are. He knows there's 1 close. Karma now dead. The 1 goes through. Bance with more. 14-7. 15-7. A 6 streak from Bance. Far and away the slaying leader of this match.
Just keep calm. How many scarabs this guy got? This is an incredible performance. You saw how dialed in he was before this, shouting at his teammates, getting them hyped up. And he is putting on a truly special performance, Jack.
No one else even has 10 kills. Bance is already halfway. He's 17-8. Why are we watching anyone but Bance?
Well, because we have the drone carrier.
That's true. Okay, fine.
Well, let's get right back over to Bance as he's still in the base of Optic Gaming. Drop shot onto Formal. I mean, he has made a haven here at the Optic Gaming side of the map.
Yeah. As now, I mean, Bance has claimed his new home. He's literally just, okay. Playing a little bit like mellow ball here. So he's just sitting in the base.
Well, you now see why. He's able to spot.
Cherry picking, waiting for 3 points. So still gets another.
And we'll see how it goes on the second half. But, I mean, I know there was a solid 60 to 90 seconds where Optic Gaming started to get something going. But for the most part, they have absolutely been playing off their back foot. Every time they're coming off spawn, there's a threat. And that threat has been Bance on their side of the map.
And look, again, they bring it right towards field. Don't let Formal ever get set up near bike path. Bance again, 19-8. Or 19-9, sorry. Looking for 20-9, still double positive. 7-2 now. Splice is the reason why they won 80% of their throwback uplinks so far since Dallas.
Time winding down. Doesn't look like there'll be any final points as Karma will finally drop. But as we head into the half, let's just kind of remind people why, why we were talking about Splice in this particular matchup. When you look at Optic, Frost 13-1, Precinct 13-3, Throwback 7-6. There is a significant drop-off. They have never been dominant here at all throughout the year.
How do you fix this now going into side 2? For one, they've got to do a better job of getting kills in the middle map. They've got to slow down Bance. And
how do you do that, though? That's the key. How do you slow down Bance?
They've got to be the one to control the drone. You see the Scump is my daddy sign now, laying dormant on the ground. You might need to grab the Sharpie and change that to Bance if he keeps this up.
Well, I think Scump or Kremi, one of those aggressive guys with the sub, has to be the guy to get in that position, to be a nuisance and continue to apply pressure. It rarely happened. I mean, a couple times, yet again, Bance is just cruising. 22-9, 2 kills off the break, and once again, let's set up a tent in the Optic Gaming side of the map.
23-9. Still, there's been no answer. He's got double the amount of kills of anyone in the lobby.
Finally, something to clap about if you're an Optic fan. An interception there, but it has not been pretty from Optic.
Now this drone will move forward. Mad Cat with both. Those are the kills that they just need to get. Zero finds another. Formal, again, setting up at bike path, but with no lead blockers. He should meet his demise here quite soon.
How many times have we seen 3 down for Optic?
Just zero.
Every time Optic's trying to get back to mid-map, 3 are down almost instantly.
Also going on the Bravo stream right now, FaZe Clan versus Infused. FaZe just took map number 1. Again, another winner's bracket matchup. There goes the drone. That'll be dropped on down. Optic will pick that up and begin to move it up the map.
But look at this. I mean, Jerd, depending on the timing, you finally get another opportunity to get forward. Jerd's going to shoot you in the back. I mean, this takes me all the way back to stage 1. They were playing against Enigma 6, and time again, Optic Gaming shot in the back, never got control. They may still be able to turn this into a dunk, though. The flank doesn't mean much as you flush it on through. 7-4 now. Optic Gaming back into this. But I don't think you're gonna see a camo here out of Optic Gaming. There's pretty much a 0% chance of that.
And listen to this storyline developing. If Optic Gaming wind up coming back in this uplink or, taking games 4 and 5 and winning this series, they would go on to face the winner of FaZe and Infused. Potential Optic FaZe matchup in a winner's bracket semifinal. That sounds quite juicy to me.
Well, here's another chance for a score, Jack. Formal has the drone. Karma trying to clear the way, but can't connect. The 1 point, not going to get in. A whole line of defenders there for the pick. Mad Cat snags it out of the sky. And Bance still, just look at the separation when you just talk about the raw slowing he's done versus everybody else in the lobby.
Scump gets it better of him there. Bance about to earn that camo. 3 dead. Optic, again, this is what I talked about. The kills in the middle map, they've got to be the ones to set the pace and tone of this map. But with beatdown, that's a chance for a throw. It goes in. Optic, from down by 5, make it a 1-possession game.
And remember, they have one of the most famous comebacks on Throwback all year. Down 5 with 45 seconds to go.
Bance dead again. 4 straight deaths for Bance. He does earn the camo, though.
And that camo could absolutely be the difference in this game.
2 dead again. Look, Formal, I'm telling you, if Optic get kills middle and he can get towards bike path, that will change the game. Jerd! Oh my God, he ran out of ammo. Can Jerd find the kill? It doesn't appear so. The interception, though, for Splice. Oh, if Jerd did that, I don't even want to know what happened.
He did enough. That was still such a sick play at mid, and a big part of why you don't see a score going on through.
My goodness.
Holy hell. 90 seconds to go. Bance pushing forward.
Again.
Bance losing a 1-on-1.
3 dead again. Optic taking map control. You've got Krim with overdrive. 1 more player to beat. The drone moving forward. The kill comes in. The pass still not there. They're trying to pick it up. It's frantic. Is the drone still there? The reset, no! A botched play from Optic Gaming right there.
Communication's off. Something went extremely wrong. Maybe a fail to actually pick it up. But Scump trying to make a play. Tries to snap outside of Lemon, but can't win it.
You need that one if you're Optic Gaming.
Well, you need a Formal in this too, and Mad Cat just deleted him. 60 seconds to go. 3 down for Optic Gaming, and that bit of control you had just disappears. Camo to go. Bance, can he make a play here? Is this the dagger that they need? He's still alive. A little bit of hot potato. Who's going to win it? Finally, it's Bance coming out on top. Got the drone. He got the camo. Here we go. Hitting the edge. 45 seconds on the clock. Trying to wrap around. The dunk is there, and Splice up 4.
30 and 20 from Bance. And that might be the dagger, unless Optic Gaming can make a miraculous play. Crim6 with one. They've got Bant still behind them. The pass goes forward. There goes Jerd. The drone still moving forward. They've got a player here. Scum can't get around the corner. Crim6 now dead. That will do it. No camo even remotely near being earned for Optic Gaming, as Splyce, as expected, take the 2-1 series lead.
Optic's woes on throwback uplink continue, and the European superstars have come to play. This one's going the distance, buddy.
Love to see it. GG's there. Give it up for Splyce. They take map number 3. 9-5. Now one map away from sending Optic Gaming to the losers bracket.
What a spectacular, just outright heroic performance from Bant. It's so great, you know, you show the video, you see a bit about his career over the past couple of years, and then he comes out and does that over the opening 5 minutes. I know maybe he's slowed down a little bit towards the later half, but you know, Madcat picked it up. Zero had a huge two-piece to kind of close out the game in the final stretch. I want to know what happened with that botch play from Optic Gaming, because if you get a dump there and keep control, it's almost like I couldn't tell if that one player, just because of our angle, was trying to go back and forth and pick up the drone to pass it and just didn't grab it. I don't know.
It looked like Optic began to run a smoke to try to clear that lane and cut off the sight line, but that smoke actually hurt Crim6 because he was on the other side of it. The player that was pushing out of barn then had the cover of the smoke to not only get the kill, but then grab the drone, and as Crim peeked the other side of the smoke, it was already being reset. It was awkward overall, but Maven, what seemed like the impossible, because you mentioned the stat of Optic never losing to a European team in bracket play, right, since they formed?
Ever since this, well, for this foursome, ever.
And now, they're one map away from having that be reality.
Well, it's champs time. Sometimes stats go out the window. Even wild, crazy, historical stats like that, they go back 2.5 years.
Mr. X said it great on the desk earlier. He said, Jack, every champs, there's a series that happens, and you think, that might be the one that makes this possible for Splyce to win this major title, or a team to win this major title. Here's your example with Splyce right now, and how perfect is it that just below Optic Gaming on the main stage, they've got FaZe Clan up 1-0 over Infused. The winners of these two matchups currently going on will face off in the winners bracket semifinal. One half of the potential All-Europe winners bracket semifinal. Splyce is close. Infused need to win this S&D.
And how ironic is it that, you know, again, it's S&D that costed Optic last year. It's been hardpoint recently, and it's all going to come down to this hardpoint, whether you can get to that search.
Look at that stage. The VIP section fully lit. The hashtag OG Hype Squad. Looks like, well, to me, it looks like Optic just got eliminated from what I'm seeing there. They're not loud enough, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I think the energy just zapped out of
Someone
this
get
room.
Optic J out there. He'll get him loud.
He's somewhere out there.
Yeah, he's probably eating Chipotle.
I think that's what you need to do, you know, when you, even if you're talking, you know, like an NBA, NFL game, something like that. Like NBA, I think, would be the best example. If you have a heavy favorite, especially with the fans, you have to take the energy out of the room. And I think Splyce has done exactly that. They've never let Optic get a ton of momentum through games 2 and 3 to get the crowd alive, to get the energy into it. I think that's props to Splyce.
Breakout hardpoint. Optic Gaming statistically weak hardpoint, but they've won 60% of them. Splyce, oh my goodness, by far their weakest hardpoint at 31% win rate.
So you have the worst uplink possible for Optic Gaming. Now you go into, I mean, all year you're talking about the worst hardpoint for Splyce. We have talked about it time and time again, Jack. Let's get it.
Splyce went 0-5 in respawns at Stage 2 playoffs when they exited early on. The Let's Go Optic chance have begun. The game has begun. Will we see ourselves a Game 5? Woo! Woo!
And as much as it's on Optic for a hot start to get the crowd into it, it's on Splyce to make big plays to silence this crowd. So far, though, Optic 15 points on the board. And a must-win spot here in Game 4.
Bance's shot still looks crispy as ever now. Optic just playing the contest. Jerd weakened by this grenade. He'll have to try to stay alive, but Karma with a quick challenge will cut him down. Optic continuing to build on this lead, but the rotation towards cell block is key. We talk about the swing map. Anything can happen on breakout. The fight for spawns will be huge as Optic look to push forward.
Well, Zero's positioning throughout is the reason everybody's spawning kind of at back
you can't lose that.
But that's one of the power positions here to control the rotation over. And as they lose that, the collapse is going to now come in from Optic. 2 hitting wall run, 2 hitting from the front. First Splice player eliminated. Jerd next one up. Some lasers there to take out Crim6. It's going to be a 3-on-3 fight here inside.
Karma just fell off the backside of the map.
So 2-on-3.
1v3 now. It's Formal all by himself, and he's got everyone surging, and Karma falls off the side, and that swings that push into Splice's favor.
You know, due to that, I think Jerd spawning out, you do get a pretty close spawn here for Optic Gaming, so you're going to be able to take a quick crack at this, but Jerd actually ends up getting in behind due to his spawn, so here we go, 2-on-2. Bance trying to go clutch. One more player at the front door. It's Scump, the slide, the spray, gets the better of him, and he's still there to contest.
Oh, and Scump's still fighting for this kill. He winds up winning the engagement as well. And look at the rotation. Karma all by himself can play hero towards this new hill. But the nade, the trophy protects Mad Cat. Oh, Scump didn't see him. Scump didn't see the player close. He has no idea there's someone right next to him in mid-bay.
Now he does, and he's gone. Scump, 4 streak, 200 now off the Trinity Rockets. You know, he's a guy you want to play aggressive, but do you play behind the streaks here, or do you need to be the first man in?
They've got to begin to make some sort of move, and it looks like that'll be the key to go. You can see Scump trying to get some sort of pinch developed from Formal. He's going to drag some attention away. Scump's got one player weak in the hard point, gets caught in the window, snaps to 0, gets the kill. No points, though. No points, doesn't fall to the hill in time.
That's all right. Optic gets the break, but you know, you see him pull out the MB4. You know he's playing for streaks, right? But Krem now trying to play this close spot outside cave. All 4 are going to hit from Splice. Here we go.
First blood now for Splice. The challenge comes in. Jerd with the slide and kill onto Krim. Formal with 2. Scump with 1. It's a challenge. He's only got 5 bullets. Scump should win this one. Unless Zero can do something miraculous, not going to happen. Scump now 11-3.
And that's a one-on-one gunfight that gives you 15 points. Those are the massive ones you see throughout the game. But even though Optic wins this hold, set up all the way at back helipad and ready to set up for commissary is Splice. They are set and poised to make a big run here at this hard point.
This huge crowd behind Optic Gaming. Jerd and crew looking to see what they can do to win this series before going to another search and destroy. Again, cannot stress it enough. Even if Optic win this map, they will have to beat Splice in a game mode S&D that they had yet to lose this weekend. Splice a perfect 6-0. They've got to get there first, though, maybe.
Yeah, they got to get there. Scum, nice kill, gets traded quickly. 2 to Optic Gaming. Now they have a 3-on-2. They got to go. They spawned him out. Look at that. All the way at cell block. You see players popping on the map. Karma and crew collapsing. Formal going to drop, but Mad Cat finally gone. There's the break with just over 20 seconds remaining.
They spot the wall run as well. 0. Gonna have to fall on back. Formal watching middle map. Very close first rotation of hills. Don't think Splice will challenge anymore. Scump is snapping right now, Maven. 13-5.
Scump going big for the squad. And he's in a key position here to try and take control of loading. If he can win these fights and push out, you're able to hit mid-map so effectively. He's got a little bit of help here too. It's going to be him and Karma. You see, this almost looks like an S&D round from them as they are pushing in through showers. Oh, the kills, a clean wipe of Splice.
And they know exactly where Splice will spawn. Scump will hold a close angle and keep this streak alive. He's on a 2 streak. Crim6 a 3 streak of his own. The Scarab now out. Optic Gaming now beginning to lead in the slaying of this game. Scump's going to try to challenge a one-shot but get cut down by Mad Cat.
All right, the big thing here if you're Optic, yes, try to get time and make sure. See where that number 8 on the minimap, that's Scump. See where he spawns. You have to keep control there. They keep on popping with 25 seconds remaining. Yeah, maybe challenge for some kills here, get them out of the hard point, but you don't need to worry about time so much. Just making sure you don't push too far forward and allow any kind of fluky spawn. Yep, they're good. They've got complete control going into the next hard point.
They know their threshold. They know how far they can push up the map. These guys have practiced this a ton, but I will say, this wave of kills now gives Splice an advantage towards this new hard point.
And that's almost the exact opposite of what happened the first time. Remember, Scump won that gunfight coming into window. This time he gets caught. And we talk about all this control and perfect play from Optic that gets erased in 3 seconds.
Absolutely. Formal 11-11. Spots 2 players in that hard point. He's waiting for the help of his team. Here comes the big break opportunity. 4 players stacked for Splice in the hill. Vance challenges the wall run. Some great shots from him. It's 3 dead on OG. Krim lasts a lot.
All 4 clean.
Wow.
Splice goes big to hold cell block. They're now trailing by 15 points. 30 seconds remaining. You spawn all the way out at commissary for Optic Gaming. It's a 4-man hit. They're going to hit the wall run now. Formal in the back looking over it, trying to protect his 2 players hitting it. But so far, the kill is going the way of Splice. But Optic Optic, do they get enough to get through? They do. Scump last man up. And again, it's a one-on-one for Scump for 15 seconds. That's 30 seconds. I know it's not a ton of points, but it's one-on-one fights. How crucial are those, man?
But I do want to point out, Splice spawn right next to the new hardpoint. So they're going to have numbers here. They're ready to go for this hardpoint. Great, take those 15 seconds is what Splice is saying. We'll fight for the 60 at Graveyard.
But look at the pinch you now have developing for Optic. You're able to collapse from both sides. Some spawn out Snow Street, some rotating from the next hard point. Mad Cat, though, with 2 crispy kills. And the last one, inside challenges. He gets the assist on that as well and shuts down Optic Gaming.
Splice are typically abysmal at breakout, but they are playing close. This team is back in form, even with Zero having a rough map. You know, Karma's right there with him.
Well, I mean, it reminds you of the first game. Formal starts slow. Somehow Optic's still in this. Here, 0, 6 and 13 to begin, but Splice just take the lead now. Optic get it right back as they break and get control. But just like last time, you see the left side of the minimap, Splice set up nicely for the next hard point.
Slang dead even. It's straight up 0 kill difference between these two teams right now. And I think that reflects in the score. Payloads will be the difference maker in this game. There's no streaks. There's nobody even near earning a score streak.
What a scrappy game this has been, right?
It's all going to come down to kills for spawns like Formal just got back here, as well as, well, who can wind up getting those payloads first and use it with their advantage.
Karma takes out one. They're the second in front. Bance, though, able to answer. A couple kills go back and forth, but the final trade, once again, goes to Optic Gaming. And Formal trying to get in position here. Some nice shots, but not able to finish it. And as the pressure comes in, it's a 2-pronged hit from Splice. They've almost won it. Last player there was Crim6. He's going to drop. Nice break from Splice.
Another example of the kills for the retake that go in Splice's favor. They overwhelm. They stop Formal on the streak. FTL, the only payload available for the side of Optic Gaming. They're going to go for one final pressure with only 20 seconds left. And, oh, God, those are some shaky shots from Formal as he can't snap on the second.
And he'll get eliminated. Jared up and close there.
Splice will have the lead.
This is how many lead changes we had now?
Oh.
I mean, just in the last, like, 90 seconds.
Yeah.
I think we had, what, 3 inside the Graveyard?
Scump has now had 6 straight deaths. Scump was 17 and 9. He's now 17 and 15. And now the slang has started to leak in favor of Splice, and so has the lead.
Oh my God,
no.
I was just about to say, good positioning there from Crim6 to be ready for the flanker, but he gets absolutely gunned. Optic, though, in the hard point. Make sure to keep an eye on that minimap and the spawns for cell block, as that is going to be the game decider.
Okay, there we go. Optic now making some small adaptations, making sure that pinch doesn't come in. Look at the one on your minimap, that's Bance. Trying to play spoiler. Will they spot him at mid-spiral? It doesn't appear so. Bance flanks for 2. Forget these 20 seconds on this hill. You have to play for the spawns and the kills towards a cell block hard point.
Formal takes off the back plate, but not able to finish the kill. Tries to take him out of the hard point, but can't win it. Now, as they push, he's going to spawn out. This is perfect for Splice. As they will be into the next hard point first.
And because of how far back Formal and Crim6 still were on the minimap, they get the new spawns for Splice and spawn up right at the new hill. Cheeky little spot from Bance. You have to win that. You have to win that gunfight. This is Optic Gaming's chance to break on through.
The key to victory in game 1 was the great breaks from Optic Gaming. You need another great one here. As 2 drop, though, you only have 2 players hitting the back. Here they come. It's going to be Karma trying to make the first. But Karma gets both before being traded out, but it's a 2-piece from Bance. Yet again, Bance the hero to make the stop.
Who but Bance might be the new storyline we say. Scump now with reactive armor. He does not want to burn it on this hill, but he might just have to. Mad Cat gets gunned. They're still contesting. One of these teams just has to take control. Now it will be Optic Gaming. Scump turns and burns. There goes Jerd. 15 seconds between these 2 teams.
But of course, it's Bance that's still remaining in the back, but the key gunfights here.
Huge gunfight.
Crim has had so many big ones. 3 down now for Splice, last remaining player, right inside a medical play. Crim just saw the spawn.
He saw everybody challenging Zero again. Some shaky shots. He's playing his life. He can't stay alive. Bance now dead. Formal's here as well. This might be the swing that Optic Gaming needed. All dead.
You've got camo. You've got reactive for Optic Gaming. Splice getting wiped clean. Here we go, baby.
How does this happen? Such a close game. Carve out when you need him. He's there. Splice will have a push opportunity. 3 payloads now for Optic Gaming. There's going to be no flank. It's going to be straight up gunfights. OG are ready. One final push for Splice. There goes camo.
Bance in. Bance in. But he does get in behind and trying to make the play. Formal still up. Camo from Karma.
to a Game 5.
Told you. You knew it, man. When you looked at the maps,
you're not bright, Maven, but you called it.
Optics worse uplink than Splice's. I mean, it's actually props to Splice for making that so close. I mean, I actually thought that might end up being a blowout. It was everything but. Look at this crowd, buddy. I think they're ready for a Game 5.
I think they are as well. Whew. There's a reason why the Stage 1 champions and the Stage 2 champions between Splice and Optic Gaming are going to a close series. It's what everyone wanted to see, and that's exactly how it's going to happen.
That was a fun one.
Whew, that was nuts. But here's the thing. We've got S&D up next. Splice are 6-0 in the game mode. Can Optic Gaming keep their winner's bracket hopes alive by beating the undefeated Splice and S&D? We'll find out after this quick break.
Drag it. Drop it. Done.
I wanted the word cuppa, as in cup of tea, I thought it would be great to mix with hug. When I saw the domain was available, I was like, I'm taking it, I'm trademarking it, I'm going with it. Hi, I'm Aaron, I'm the owner of Cuppa Pug. We are not a traditional cafe. When I saw Cuppa Pug go live, that's when it all clicked. Well, is that nice?
Matt Piper is a serious-faced goofball. Depends how well you know me, but in-game and out-of-game around the gaming community, I'm very serious. My life before video games was competitive still. You know, obviously sports as a kid, just normal kid stuff, going to the movies, hanging out with friends, stuff like that. And then once I realized video games were an option to pursue as a career, I took it very serious, and that's kind of where everything took off. As I was coming up, the amount of people that said, this kid is really good online, but you're not gonna do it at a tournament, that kind of like eats at you as a player. Just because if I'm waiting for months and I go to a tournament and I don't play the same way as I did online, I gotta wait months again to even have a chance to prove myself.
Optic Gaming starting to generate a bit of momentum. They know what is at stake here.
You're finally back on top.
Playing at this level, it's hours and hours and hours of doing the same thing over again. Getting on every day, playing the same maps, the same game types with the same people, but every day you're trying to find one little new thing that will help your team grow. That's the whole purpose of putting those hours in. Even if we are, you know, doing well and winning tournaments, we want to keep, you know, the bar just keep going and going and going. First is what I expect no matter what. Anything else is a failure. There's no reason why we shouldn't be winning. And if there is a tournament that we do lose, it's on us. It's not because the talent isn't there or because there's another team that's better than us.
Carver going for the kill. Formal hug to you. 1v1 situation is all coming over. And a full way to go 1v1. Optic Gaming. We will see you fudging later. Two COD champs back to back.
This has been the story.
For the obvious elephant in the room that we haven't won a Call of Duty championship. We think that we're the best team, which is why we've stuck together even after those disappointing finishes. But until we win Call of Duty champs, we're not going to be considered the greatest Call of Duty team ever. I don't even know how many tournaments we won together, honestly. But because we haven't won those two since we've been a team, it's like those don't even count. When the big one comes and you don't win it, then what is the other tournaments? Like, what do those mean?
Formal with two.
The numbers he puts up, the slang he brings to this team.
Formal first right, the push comes in, and Formal wins the 1v1.
If you want to be the next Formal, you got to know how many hours you're going to have to put in realistically. Just thousands and thousands of hours. You can't just expect to be good or go pro just because you're better than the 5 kids at your school that you play with. If you want to be the best, then you will put the time in. You won't make any excuses, you'll just do it. I'll stop playing when I feel like I'm holding other people back. If I think that I'm not performing to the best of my ability like I should be, as a player and a person, you know, it's very selfish if you just keep competing. When everything's done, I want everybody to look back and always think about Formula as the best FPS player of all time. That's what I want my legacy to be.
The man on your screen has now won in 7 different FPS titles. He wants to go down as the best of all time. This is one notch in the belt this weekend.
He's got quite the road to go through. Let me set the stage for you all. Welcome. This is the Call of Duty World Championship presented by PS4. $1.5 million up for grabs this weekend. In this matchup, we have our Stage 2 champions of the Global Pro League, the first ever LAN league for competitive Call of Duty. Optic Gaming on the right side of your screen going up against Splice, the best team in Europe, as well as the team that won Stage 1. Both of these squads at the top of their game right now on the main stage. It's simple. Win this S&D, and later on tonight, on the main stage, they face off against FaZe. Whoever it is, Splice or Optic will face FaZe Clan, who just took down ALG. Here's the issue. Splice has yet to lose an S&D this weekend, and that will be Game 5. They are a perfect 6-0.
But we're going to be heading into one of the better search and destroys for Optic Gaming. 11-3 since Dallas, 79% win percentage. It all comes down to this, Jack. Make some noise, guys. It's Game 5.
Head off the break already. Optic, they have their mind set on what they want to do. It's a quick plant. It's going to be a 4v4 retake opportunity for Splice, who wins these next few gunfights.
Plant so quickly. Formal in a key position here at back bus. He just spotted one, transitioning across mid-map. calls it out to Krim, who peeks it for just a moment. First blood, gonna go to Optic, but quickly answered. Back and forth we go, 2 versus 2. Formal and Karma up against Bance and Zero.
They know where both players are at. It appears Formal spots one. That's Zero up close. He's got to play his life. Karma's there for the help. Cross the screen. Go ahead. Karma's got one. There's the second. Bye-bye. Karma plays the trade perfectly, and Formal goes, hey, thanks for having my back.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't play that properly. Formal's dead 100% of the time. And those tense situations in the 2v2 with the clock running low, you have to make the right plays. Karma, who else, goes huge.
Easy plays there. Optic up 1-0. As now it'll be their turn to strike a second round in a row on defense. What can Splice and crew do? It looks like already they're going to try to change things up.
Bance and company starting to move towards this B site. The transition from Optic Gaming. It's going to be a 4v4 retake.
Again.
Bomb going down.
Again. Now this is definitely the tougher side to retake from because there's so much cover, so many areas you can go to. Look at this long sight line with no cover on field. Optic will have no pinch. It'll just come down to who can get the big kills. Do they play around a smoke? It doesn't appear so as of yet. They're going to have to make a move. Only 25 seconds left. The play coming on in, and you can see, oh, Karma thought he had it for a second, but that high wall run, they've got to go. Their hand's been forced. It's going to get hectic here quick. Challenge now coming from Karma. Bance with first blood. There's nobody else there for the side of Optic Gaming to help. That's not going to work. 2 versus 2. No time left. That's what I'm saying. You can't hesitate on that site.
I mean, good plant, right? They tried to stretch for it multiple times, so Karma tried to pick it up. Not able to do so. Good plant, good positioning, and so hard to retake. Like, if you have a pinch opportunity, maybe somebody hitting the flank that wins a one-on-one, things fall apart for Splice. You thought that was over as soon as you saw all 4 hitting from that barn side.
That was the issue. Once you get back there and set up, you can see how easy it is for the bomb to be checked. Formal trying to communicate with his team. That's a round that they cannot let happen again when Splice are on offense. The game now tied up 1-1 as these two teams are so evenly matched.
Starting to push their way up towards this A side. First engagement, Krim not able to win it. That's Jerd in his face, but Formal will find a pick at the same time. Very similar to what we saw in our first round.
Look at this from Jerd. So this is what the communication is right now for Splice. Jerd, you make the play. You have to be the one that swings this round. You have to win this next gunfight.
A lot of times this is just down to timing. Will he get the first eyes on? Nice shots there as he connects, pushing into bowling, and gets away with his life. Karma drops as well. It's all on Formal now. Formal able to get the first kill. 17 seconds on the clock. He's got a clutch of 1 versus 3.
There's already someone watching over with this AR. Formal can't get it done. Too little, too late. Splice win the round as they hop on it right away.
And it was, I mean, you saw it happening on the minimap, right? You saw Jerd going on the flank. He gets a kill there, makes the play. He dies there.
Round's over.
They lose the round, exactly. I mean, it's exactly what you need in the prior round for Optic. Somebody to flank through and make a play like Jerd did.
Absolutely. There was no hesitation. The second that bomb got planted, he knew if he was going to go for that long B flank, then it was time to drop back down towards middle map, hit that train alley, and go for the pinch. Optic Gaming now down, and look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Splice, that's their mindset now on offense as they'll push towards the same site.
But the big question for me is, how does Optic react this time? They learned their lesson. They're not going to be able to hit 4 through barn. Surely they're going to do something different. And look at it this time. I think it's going to be a number 1. It's going to be 4. They try to hit it. Krim kill through the smoke. What is that?
No, the smokes didn't land in time. They throw the smokes a little bit too late. Because of the early rotation, Crim6 is there. No plant. Here comes the pinch from Formal. They're trying to spot him. Down to a 3v3, but Karma's about to make the game-changing play. Oh, no, Mad Cat kills him.
No idea how Mad Cat comes up with the kill, but he does. There's 1 in barn.
They should push him.
Formal's now hitting the flank. They're going to push him out. Formal's going to have a one-on-one on the other side with Zero, and he wins it. So Formal wins that one, 2 versus 2, 40 seconds. Bomb yet to be planted in Mad Cat's hands.
Formal and Crim6 up against Jerd and Mad Cat. The amount of championships these two have won together. This is an example of a round that could help them earn another here this weekend. 25 seconds left. Passive play from both teams as they do not want to get blooded in this opportunity.
Round by round.
Did he see him?
Moment by moment, the pressure builds for these young guys.
Formal did it. Look, this is a smart play from Formal. He's going to rotate. Crim6 is there. No plant. 10 seconds left. Run. If you're Crim6, just run. Just get away. Just get away. Split up the map. There goes Krim. That's a round win for Optic Gaming.
I mean, the thing that stands out, you've had 2 different 2v2 scenarios for Optic. They played them both textbook, right? They both been perfect. Yep. You did exactly what you needed to. You hit the shots you needed to. I mean, it may be a shaky for a moment there from Krim, but he finishes it before he can get behind the sandbags. And he had Formal looking over anyway.
Exactly. Krim had nothing to worry about. He had Formal holding the angle on the player who was right outside barn. There was no way Crimsix could die in that scenario. As now it will be 2-2. The game staying dead even.
Once again, towards the A site goes Optic Gaming. Last time they attempted this on offense, Krim was first blooded.
See, again, adapting to what they've shown. But this is a great retake opportunity for Splice. They're going to show 4 here. 0 now dead. Scump playing close. Karma with the help. They're challenging on through. 2 versus 2. Scump is there. Now a 1v2. Mad Cat all by himself. They're lining up for him. No, not going to happen yet.
Nice job to slide across.
Mad Cat's going to fall right into this trap. It looks like, yes, he's dead. Scump with the mind games. Not afraid to challenge in that close corner.
Back and forth we go. What more could he ask for? And what has been, I think, the best series of the weekend thus far, you could say easily.
Absolutely. And I've got to give a shout out to Scump there, playing his life so perfectly. At that lower sidewalk push, he could have gotten frantic. Instead, he winds up ducking down for cover, lets Karma make the next move, and then he follows it up. Optic Gaming now back in the lead.
All right, so this will be the first time we see Splice go towards the A site. They've been so heavy towards Courtyard. So I'm curious how Scump will play this. I think he's at number 4 at the top.
Formal's going to spot all this. Tries to challenge the first. Players close, was not ready for that. He's got some help from Karma. Will get out with his life for a second. The sidewalk pushes. Watch, Krim is there. 0 by himself, and well, there's 0 chance of him winning that round.
I mean, it's just bait and switch after bait and switch there for Optic Gaming as they win the trades on Bike Path.
After speaking a ton to Optic, the #1 critique they gave themselves on Search and Destroy earlier in the Global Pro League was that they weren't playing their lives well enough. Karma, he's got 3 on his screen. He gets the first and gets away. Well, trusts in Krim to get the trade.
As Formal drops, you think they're in trouble, right? But Karma's there immediately to pick one up. Karma's in trouble. Next thing you see, Crimsix comes soaring out from Lemon, and he is the difference maker in the round. 4-2 edge for Optic Gaming, and Karma building closer and closer to that camo.
And now look at this. Splice are taken out. Pages deep in the playbook. Jerd, you did this earlier. Can they now do it with 2? The flank, they're not ready for this at all. Optic, they're clueless. Bance and Jerd there. Karma and Formal eliminated.
And this is an exact criticism we've made of Optic Gaming in this map and mode before. Not being prepared for a flank. The quick 2-man hit comes up huge. Everybody dropping. Krim the now the lone man.
That's
and he is gone. Round. Clean sweep for Splice.
That's an easy round. Splice, again, I said they're taking the pages deep out of the playbook. No hesitation. Twice on that flank. Because they haven't slowed down, they've hit timings in their favor. As they will keep this close, and a hush lies over this pack crowd.
I mean, you're still waiting another 5-10 seconds probably if you're the internal clock there for Optic Gaming to even really worry about the flank.
But that's a miscommunication. They saw nothing pushing on the A site. They had their middle lane covered in underpass, but the flank was the one thing wide open, and because 2 hit it, they coordinate 2 perfect first bloods.
Splice now. Back on offense. Jerd spotting over the top. Sees a lot. They know they have a very free plant.
And look at how long this is going to take Optic to get here. Already 5 seconds off the clock. About to be 10 seconds off the clock. And they are nowhere near engaging Splice. I'm going to call this round now.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to do. Formal's worried about the flank. They're
15 seconds gone.
They got to go. You just have to go. Give yourself a chance in this round. Scump's doing just that.
They've got to go right now.
He guesses right. Wins the first one. Jerd eliminated. They have to fly. Karma trying to make a play. He's spotted 1. Back play doesn't keep him alive. 2 down. Third half back bust. Can they finish it? 0 gone. Last one. 1-on-2. It's Mad Cat. 10 seconds on the clock. He has to make a play, but he's tagged up. Bomb has been picked up. Scump's got that kill. Formal on the bomb.
Well, I guess I get that for doubting Optic Gaming. My Twitter mentions are about to be filled. I guess that's why I suck at S&D, because I can't do that.
I'll tell you what, I think there's one team in the world that could make that play in that situation. It's Optic Gaming.
If Scump doesn't check that left corner, that's an entirely different round, right? He peeks the correct side.
That's why I said it, because if he guesses right, that round's over.
Because Scump kills Jerd, that round is possible. OG have shut me up, and they're about to shut up the haters as they might move on.
A little bit of luck in the game. I mean, if you're Splice, you get kind of a lucky counter, and the two-man flank there, guessing right, is Scump.
Splice on the verge of dropping their first S&D of the weekend, and now they're getting desperate. Jerd about to soar on through. Scarab now out for Optic Gaming. It's another 4v4 plant. Do they have the flank watch? No, yes, they do!
I don't know how Karma gets that kill, but Mad Cat's now gotten to 2 versus 2. Mad Cat wins it one-on-one. No, but he drops, and there's a round for Splice. We're going the distance.
Mad Cat saves it for his team. Bumps up to 10 and 6, and we're going to round 10. Oh my God, yes it was. The fact that, honestly, Karma immediately snaps right there. If he doesn't get that kill, that round is lost way earlier by
as soon as Jerd got to that position, you saw them pushing through. I thought Jerd was going to have 2 or 3 free kills.
Yeah. Woo-wee. All right. As everyone can take a breather for a second.
Please.
So we move into round 10. Karma with camo. Will the clutch man be the one to make the difference? He's got 4 plants already this game. Splice again, looking to get a free plant on this site. How?
For me, you get a good camo use, you win the game. You get a bad camo, you lose the game. There's a kill.
Blood.
And he gets away.
And he'll have to play his life. They know Splice are stacked on this side of the map. Optic Gaming to move on to winners bracket semifinals, begin to push on through. There's a challenge from Formal. Zero now dead. It's all on Jerd. The Irishman down. Scump getting hyped. Optic Gaming on their feet. And now tonight, boy, oh boy, Optic versus FaZe later on today. Now Splice in S&D as probably the only team in the world, Optic Gaming, get the best of them there in Game 5.
I mean, it comes down to a few things. The textbook 2v2 plays, that 4-on-4 retake you had, that I don't know that anyone should have done that. Anyone should be able to do that. But Optic get it done. When they need to be clutch at Stage 2 playoffs, they were every single time. Again, we see it here at Call of Duty Championship. What a masterful performance and what a big win for Optic Gaming.
Insane stuff right there for the Green Wall. They move on to the winners bracket semifinal later today. They'll face FaZe Clan. And now I believe, I want to get confirmation, but I believe Splice will now fall to the losers bracket. And I think they face Epsilon.
Yes.
Which would mean that that is a, that right there is a whole story in and of itself.
No, it'll be EU on EU, who's going to move on there. But yeah, Optic FaZe, could you be any more excited for what should be an absolute treat later this evening? A series that can certainly even top the one we just had. So much history between those two organizations dating back to what seems forever now. If you're new to Call of Duty, you're checking it out for the first time, welcome. That is going to be an absolute treat later on this evening.
That's going to be one to remember. We're at our final event of the Call of Duty World League season, and already things are beginning to build up. We still have the rest of Saturday on the horizon. We finished 2 matches of 7 on the main stage.
It's going to be a long day.
There's still a lot of Call of Duty to be played up here, and you got to think Championship Sunday is in the back of everyone's mind. Make it there, and you have a chance at the title.
Well, there are a couple people here with 2 Call of Duty Championship rings. One, Damon Karma Barlow. We got him on stage.
We got Karma here on the main stage, fresh off of a victory in front of one of the biggest crowds we have seen this year. I have a few questions for you. Stage 1 champions up against the Stage 2 champions. How heavy was that pressure going into that matchup?
Well, obviously every other time we've played them, I think it's won a last map 3-2, and we've won every time, and that's kind of how this series went, you know. They won the retail against us again. I think we won Scorch this time though, right? Yeah, we won Scorch. So we didn't go down 0-2 this time, and I don't know, I feel like we kind of gave away some maps there, but we clutched up in the end, and that's all that matters, and they're a great team.
Yeah, and one of the things now, when we actually look down the rest of the road for you guys, you're starting to move through this upper portion of the bracket, but you guys haven't been able to do it yet. You have not won champs yet. How heavy is that weighing on you guys? Is that pressure something that's going on when you're actually inside of these games on comms?
Honestly, it might have right there. I know I was getting pretty pissed that match. We all were kind of getting mad at each other a little bit, but it was kind of just, I don't know, we were kind of playing all over the place. You know, we weren't playing to our potential, but it also could have been them playing really well. And we're just not thinking about the pressure at all. And this is the best we've looked at any champs yet, so you got to be confident, right?
Heard it from Karma, the best that they have been looking at any champs. Is this going to be the year for Optic? I'm going to throw it back to the casters, and we will find out soon.
Thank you very much, Rich. Great to hear, of course, from Karma.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. The moment is now. After 77 matches this week, we are down to our final 2 teams. We have seen some incredible Call of Duty action this weekend, and we are ready now for the best match to date. It is the E-Classico, and it is time to bring out the defending champions. Please put your hands together for Slasher, Apathy, John, and JCap. We bring you Team Envious. Apathy so strong during their first matchup, leading the way with the E-Red. John, the 2016 MVP, coming back with another MVP-like performance last night. And of course, one of 2 men to walk away a venue like this with 2 championship rings. Give it up for JCap. They hold the throne, but their challenger on the other side of the stage has been the most successful team of 2017. Make some noise for Optic Gaming. Bringing out first is the Call of Duty Ghost champion, Crimsix. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one man with 2 rings on his hand. Let's bring out the other one. Make some noise for Karma! And when you think of competitive Call of Duty, you think of the Bash Brothers. Here's half of them. Make some noise for the man with the best stats this week. It's Formal. Wouldn't be Call of Duty Esports without the king. Get on your feet, put your hands together for Scumpy. Eight players, 1 trophy, 4 championship rings. Before we get this started, JCap, please take a step this way. Scump, over here. We have to get some thoughts before the epic showdown. 2 of the biggest brands in all of esports going toe-to-toe. You've been in this situation, back-to-back years, going for the 3-peat. What's going through your head right now?
Nothing, just thinking about our game. Gotta play our game. Do what we did in the finals, we'll be fine.
And I have to ask you, it feels like there was a momentum shift yesterday. You're playing to United. You had to dig yourself out of a massive hole. From then, we've seen you storming across. What's going right for the team right now? What do you guys plan to do against Scump and Optic Gaming?
I mean, we've just been doing our thing. My 3 teammates shredded last series. The comebacks against the United were, I think, huge for our confidence, and now we've got to keep pulling.
Scump, you have the biggest fan base in esports. We see them here today cheering you guys on. You have been to this tournament 4 times. You are now looking to raise your first trophy here in number 5. What's going through your head?
Nothing really. Honestly, you know, it would be great to win this tournament. My teammates and I have put in so much work throughout the year and all of the years. I think if we come out and we play our game, we have a very good shot. Envy's a great team, and I think it's going to be a great series.
Envy beat you the first time around. You guys stopped the hard play, but then they came back. It seems you found your footing against Luminosity in the Losers Bracket Finals. What are you guys bringing to the table in this series against Envy in the rematch?
I think it's pretty standard for us to start a little slow on most days, so we got that match out of the way against Envy, unfortunately lost, but played LG and we finally found our footing. if we play like that again, like I said, it's going to be hard to beat us. We're on fire, and we're feeling good for this match.
Captains, I'll let you shake hands. Gentlemen, please take your seats. It is time. The 2017 Call of Duty World League Championship match begins right now. It's time to send it over to our casters. We got Maven, Courage, and Mr. X.
Thank you, Chris Puckett. Brilliant stuff as always. And yes, we've got the TriCast going today. We are incredibly excited for Optic versus Envy. Jack, this is a real treat. This is your first grand final of champs you've been casting. Welcome, buddy.
I guess I got lucky with this one. I mean, has the stage ever been bigger? The history between these two squads, Matt, you've been here for so many of them. Optic have never beaten Envy at a Call of Duty World Championship, and now they have to do it twice in a row to win the title.
If there's one way to get a first win on the board for Optic Gaming, this is the way you would want to do it, right? You come in here, you're able to beat Envy twice. That cements your legacy as the best team of all time, without a doubt.
I think for either team, I mean, yes, for Optic, certainly all time, but like for 3 rings for Cap, so many storylines. No team has won a champs and then stuck together till the next champs, much less won them both. This is going to be nuts, man.
Oh, I can't imagine how the players feel. This crowd in here is electric. It's nearly standing room only. Thousands live in the venue. Hundreds of thousands tuning in online to watch Call of Duty history here today.
And you bring that up, Clint. In the video we played, it's like Chris is like, we will have a new champion. It's like, maybe not. The first time ever we're seeing Envy, kind of coming back here, trying to, hold their title. Yeah. It's going to be an insane match. I can't imagine what's going on for Envy right now. You are a team who had struggled throughout the year. Really, we kind of counted them out. When they couldn't make a roster change after stage 2, going into stage 2, we're like, this team, they won't be able to make it back. And something started to click later in the year.
I mean, let's quickly tell the story, right? Optic Gaming coming into Infinite Warfare. They had that terrible placing at champs last year, 7th place, 2 years in a row. People were doubting this team. Will they stick together throughout the season? They do. They wind up catching their breath. They win a couple major titles. The only team to win 2 major titles this year in Infinite Warfare, and they make it to champs. On the other side of the stage, though, Envy. They struggle throughout the beginning half of the year and then kick it into gear, just like the Call of Duty World League in 2016. They win the Stage 2 title last year. This year they get 2nd. They go on to win champs last year. We'll see what they can do here.
And I'm curious for you, Matt. We see the stats there for the team. We talked about how good they are in uplink, but in a grand final of this magnitude with 1.5 mil on the line, legacies on the line, how much stock do you put in stats right now?
Look, we've seen both of these teams play a lot over the weekend. I definitely think you have to put some weight in it, but at this point, you kind of throw most of it out of the window. I think you need guys who have been in big game situations and who are going to come up with big plays. You think back to the Black Ops 2 champs final, one of the greatest of all time. Who are the two in that one making plays? You had Karm on the side of Farico Impact, J-Cap on the side of Envy. I think that is the head-to-head matchup you have going into this series. These two guys, obviously both with 2 rings. Whoever shows up bigger in this matchup, I think, walks away with the 3rd.
Oh, and the big thing here, you've got champs experience for pretty much everybody, at least, champs victories, looking at everyone outside of Formal and Scum. What's the pressure going to be like, if Optic get down early in this one? How do they rebound? Oh, I like that.
It's going to be hard. I mean, going down in a normal series is obviously difficult to come back from, but with how much pressure is on these guys and with, the venue here, it's going to be extremely difficult to battle back, I think. And the thing that stands out to me, Jack, search and destroy win rate. We talked about it time and time again coming into the event. Now, they were very good in S&D. We were like, okay, they fixed their problems of last year, the hardpoint game, now that's fixed. Their search and destroy starting to dip down a little bit now.
SND wins championships. Search and destroy, the game mode that comes up twice in a best of 5 alongside Hardpoint. Optic, for me, with how good Envy have looked in uplink, they might just be must-win maps here.
They certainly are. And in the search, we saw some statistics coming into this. Like, Optic have been the best team when it comes to 4v3 situations when they get first blood at 81%, closing out those rounds. And when they're behind, even when they're getting picked first, they've been the top team in winning from behind and coming up with those clutch situations. But I'll tell you what, there's going to be someone to play spoiler. You just saw him on your screen, John, MVP from 2016. He's been on a warpath yet again. He's got the vocal leaders in Slasher and Cap, and he just slays everywhere.
Yeah, John is, putting up another MVP performance here, but for me, it's apathy. with the way Apathy can really get on these hot streaks, we've seen it at tournaments in the past. He kind of lingers around, and then Apathy starts to heat up. And he is a player that can take over games. You think back to a lot of big series where he's in, he comes in, lights out, and they dominate.
What did we see earlier today? Apathy and Slasher, the duo that, especially in that Game 4 Scorch Hardpoint, got the better of Formal and Scump. We saw Optic Gaming bounce back against LG and Maven. I think that's a testament to the caliber of team Optic Gaming is when the pressure's on.
Yeah, I mean, they've been one of the most clutch teams, but to match that, look at the performances we've seen on Envy. It's like who's going to come up when it matters most? Because I know, certainly, could either of these teams 3-0 each other? Yes, but you just feel like with the magnitude of the match, this is going the distance. These maps are going the distance. I expect it to be tight, thrilling. This is going to be a fun one.
So looking at the map set for this matchup, you'll have Retail Hardpoint, game number 1, Throwback S&D, Throwback Uplink, Scorch Hardpoint, and then the Breakout S&D at the end. So for me, looking at that map set, that Game 4 is big for Envy. We've already seen them beat Optic on it earlier in the day. The Throwback Uplink, Envy's perfect in the uplinks. Throwback Search and Destroy is one that Optic is very good at. Game number 1, for me, Jack, I don't want to say it's an exact toss-up, right? Because Optic's been so strong in it. Yep. But Envy gets a good game from Slasher. JCap can play a little bit slower on a map like Retail. Maybe you're able to squeak that map out as well if you're Envy.
I think Optic have to win game 1 because we know Throwback Uplink is their worst uplink. We just saw them lose on Scorch. But I think when I look at this map set, it says to me game 5. I really, really strongly feel we're going to be going the distance. But on Retaliation, that first game, it's got to be a lot about the Slasher versus Formal matchup for me.
It's also important to note for the thousands and thousands of new viewers tuning into competitive Call of Duty for the first time today, Envy are coming from the winner's bracket of our double elimination bracket. All Envy have to do here is win 1 best-of-5 series. 3 maps is all it takes for them to be crowned champions. On the other side of things, Optic Gaming, because they lost earlier today and were dropped to the loser's bracket by Envious, Optic have to win 2 best-of-5s.
And I think it's important for Optic coming into the series is to not look at it as 2 best-of-5s. Just maps. Yeah. We need to win 6 maps. That's all they have to focus on. Don't make it, because when you talk about series, right, it's a pretty daunting task when you think we have to beat them in another series again. 6 maps is a lot easier to kind of digest.
And this is the first time that, the champs has been basically a week. It's been 5 days. You've heard many players say it's a marathon, not a sprint. That's how Optic, I think, has to look at this grand final as well, right, Jack? I mean, you may go the distance. This could go a full 10 maps. They've done that at events this year against a team like E-United. They know how grueling that can be, keeping the energy up, keeping the comms up over the course of what could be a 10-game series. It's intimidating.
I'm going to say something right now. Scump has done everything in his Call of Duty career except for win a champs moment. This is Scump's biggest moment in his entire Call of Duty career. Will he rise to the occasion or fall just short yet again?
I mean, in the past, you thought maybe didn't have the best team around him and whatnot. Some very tough competition. He has the team around him here.
There's no excuse.
You find yourself in the finals, there is no excuse not to get it done.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the venue, at home, everywhere across the world, the time has come. The Call of Duty World League Championship Grand Finals begins right now. Make some noise. Thousands competed online, hundreds of teams at live events, and 2 remain. Optic Gaming, Envious.
Here we go. Game 1, breakout hardpoint. This should be a thrilling affair, and you've got 2 of the best NV4s in the game, and Formal and Slasher on a map where they will be so important. Matt, this should be a pleasure, buddy.
Yeah, and like I was saying, you're going to have great games out of Formal and Slasher, right? 2 of the best NV4s in the world. But this is a map, very long range, a lot of big sight lines. JCap can excel here with the NV4 as well.
Formal and Slasher have been the undisputed best 2 hardpoint players this weekend, especially in that AR role. Formal, in hardpoint alone, a 1.44 KD. Slasher just behind him at a 1.31. Insane in numbers. That is unheard of in competitive Call of Duty.
Well, so far, Optic Gaming opening a little bit of a lead here as they've maintained control of Bridge, Slasher and company. Finally able to bust on through, but let's take a look at the bottom middle of the minimap as we get set up now for Lower Street.
Yeah, and you see Cap getting off to a 5-0 start. That is a great sign if you're an envious fan. No, he's never going to light up the scoreboard in terms of a KD and whatnot, but you get him off to a good start early here. He's getting very close to earning some more score streaks. You're in a good spot if you're Envy.
Exactly. Let's see if he can work toward these Trinity Rockets. It is one of the keys to victory. You know, you cannot give up streaks early in a game, and he is getting very, very close.
It's only right that JCap has his best start to a map of the weekend in map 1 of the grand finals. He's 8-0, finally cut down. A silver lining there, though, Matt, for Optic Gaming, as JCap doesn't earn those streaks.
Yes, that's huge for Optic Gaming. You earn streaks on a map like this. The next hard point that pops up, Cathedral, you can use those rockets to break right on in. A few kills goes in favor of Envy. They're going to give up the last 10 or so seconds here and rotate all the way across map.
Well, let's take a look right now. If you take a look at the spawns, you have number 8, that's Slasher, all the way back in Cathedral. On Bridge, they're starting to push across, but there's some people struggling on Optic right now, Jack.
Struggling. Scump 0-5. Now just gets a kill. We talk about the pressure of the main stage. Can it get to a player? Maybe off the break it is. Scump finally on the board.
Yeah, but they get the break, right? They bust through. They now have Cathedral. They do that in the opening 10 to 15 seconds, and they should be able to compound this lead right now. Scump, the player controlling inside a hotel. Nice pre-fires, he hits the edge.
And you can see Envy, they're trying to hit from not only this middle lane, but top bridge. But Matt, these kills coming in favor of Optic, these final 2 players, they have to wait or they're never gonna break on through.
Yeah, it's a huge hold here for Optic Gaming. It looked like Envy was gonna rotate early. They did. They get to Cathedral. They don't win any of the fights. But now they will rotate all the way across map over towards Broken. They need to win these engagements, Maeve.
So we saw Envy with the early setup at Cathedral, right? Optic break on through. They're set up nicely now for the next hard point. You can't allow the same to happen.
Is it not perfect that the 2 players with 2 rings, all the pressure on for the third, have the 2 best stats to start off the map? Karma at 9 and 6, JCap at 10 and 3. These guys feel no pressure here on the main stage.
Yeah, and if you've ever seen an interview or spoken to either of these guys, you'd understand why. Just cool, calm, and collected. You heard it from Cap in the interview. He just cares about winning, man. Does not matter his individual stats. Such a great leader as well in game. Shooting well with the NV4.
Formal able to get the better of him, but as apathy comes in, the kill will be traded out, in Envy will retain control, only trailing by 30 or so points right now, still very much in the game. We've got a lot of time left on the Broken Building.
Hardpoint is the first game mode of the 3 different ones we play here in competitive Call of Duty. The team to hit 250 score first will take the map, or that top middle game clock. If it hits 0, the map will end there as well, Matt. Most times it goes to that 250 score mark. Optic with the narrow edge.
Yeah, you're going to see it hit 250 on a map like this. Maybe throwback, you see time come into play, but I just want to stress again how important this map number 1 is for Optic Gaming. You lose this, obviously you go down 0-1. Envy, very good in S&D. Game number 3, the uplink. Envy's undefeated this weekend. Game 4, their best hardpoint. Optic needs to take this map.
Well, so far, holding a narrow lead. Crim6 going big on plat. Scumpy watching the back push into Hotel. He just saw one, should be able to get the timing on it as he rotates back through curve. He'll finish it up, and Optic in complete control of Hotel right now. 2 for Scump, 3rd out on plat. Crim6 picks up Slasher.
Earlier this year, there were some critiques of Scump at the start of hardpoint maps. He'd start slow. He looked a little bit lost. He couldn't challenge the NV4s on the opposing team and would get cut down. Yes, that's happening here, but Maven, how many times have we seen him turn up and take over the game for his team?
It happened this weekend, and Scump starts really slow, but Optic still somehow maintains a lead. We saw that in a previous game. We see it now. When Scump actually really starts to go, that's when all of a sudden you have a 250 to 100 point game. You're like, where did that come from? Rarely does he stay slow for the entire time.
I will say, in a match like this, with how crazy the crowd is in the venue, you have to stay calm. You have to play your game. Once the crowd starts to get hype, everybody on stage hears it. Maybe you start pushing out some things you're not used to doing. Maybe you're just a little bit late on the rotation. Optic Gaming there, they'll get 3 kills here as soon as Bridge comes up.
If Optic Gaming are up by a full minute and you have Scump at double negative, you're in a pretty damn good spot to start map 1, huh, Maven?
I think that's fair to say. Formal is going to find his 4th in a row. A way to go to pick up any of those key aerial streaks, but let's see if he can wrap from behind. There's the first, second finish up by Scump, and that'll be more time in the hard point here for Optic Gaming with 20 seconds remaining on Bridge. Everybody from Optic starting to rotate across.
And here now, Formal building towards a score streak. That's on the bottom right side of your screen. He's 275 points off a Trinity rocket, which would let him drop 3 missiles down from the sky as Crim 6 gets 2. But Matt, score streaks are great to use to break a hard point. And Envy, they obviously need that right now when down by 90. But because of how much they're struggling in slaying, they have none earned for their team.
Yeah, if Formal is able to pick up these score streaks, it's going to be huge for Optic Gaming. But you have the Trinity rockets, you don't have to go over to Cathedral. You can take all of that time as well.
Fans starting to get loud in the venue, but Formal will fall a little bit short of those streaks. But the lead over 100 now. But remember, if you tuned in earlier, when these teams first matched up, Optic took the first hard point. From there, it was all Envy, all the boys in blue. But we keep repeating, this is such an important game, specifically for Optic. But you get a team kill there from JCap. And what stands out, though, Apathy right now in 9 and 16. I mean, I thought he was probably the best player against Optic earlier today. He's got to pick it up.
He most certainly does. Apathy was a reason why they were able to shut down the aggressive play on Scorch Hardpoint to win the series 3-1. To those just tuning in, this is the Call of Duty World League Championship presented by PS4. First place gets $600,000 and the coveted title of Call of Duty World League Champion.
Well, this map definitely suits JCap's strengths, but not Apathy. Apathy wants to play aggressive, he wants to play fast. You just get caught sprinting, getting picked by the long-range NV4 players. Right now, it's on a 3 streak, though, as Envy has done a great job here holding Cathedral. And they're sneaking their way back into this game. It's definitely not over.
But Scump, can we get over to him because he just picked up 2 kills. They're about to push towards the third in the back. Shots on point, 3 in a row. Make it 4, no, just a little bit short, but Scump so close to basically single-handedly breaking into this hard point, but he has enough damage now for them to get control for a moment.
But look what Karma just earned. The payload abilities for the combat rig, so important in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Karma earns that active camo, lets your player go invisible. To push towards a spawn, to break a hill, Matt, it could be the difference here if Envy are able to make the comeback.
Yeah, and you can imagine how awesome it is to be able to go invisible and get inside of the hill as Karma now working behind, able to get one. Lines up a second. Doesn't need to use the camo. Optic Gaming gets a break here on Broken. Envy, it's not looking good.
Maven, they might be able to shut the door here. 234 to 127. Optic Gaming dominating map 1.
The fans know it's coming. 5 points away. Camo inside if needed for Karma. He's going to back up. Likely looking to pop this, just playing his life for now as he is the lone man. Once the collapse comes from the front, you think it would be used, but not over yet. Envy still holding on, but trailing massively.
They want to push for this one right here. They get the kills. They'll get the win. Optic Gaming strike first blood in the grand finals.
Talked about the importance of game 1 for Optic. They handle business, but again, similar situation to what we saw earlier today on Championship Sunday. This time they need to take that search in Detroit, take control of this first best of 5.
And it's a really tough loss for Envy there because the one guy who hasn't really, I don't want to say shown up, but he hasn't really played the best in Hardpoint has been JCap. And you get a good game out of JCap. And you just had, Apathy, Slasher sitting about even. Needed some better performances from those guys. You would have taken game 1.
I talked earlier, I think, Matt, we were casting the last match when Karma started out well in the game 1. He is not usually the slaying phenom for this team. It's typically Formal and Skunk. But we talked about how key he is as a vocal leader, the guy to make the right plays, the guy to be in the right position and direct his teammates to be in the right position. You said it was important for him to start strong like he did. Why do you think that's the case?
I think Karma is a fantastic player, but sometimes, when things don't go his way, it just starts to kind of spiral and snowball out of control. So you get a good start from Karma. You imagine his game 2 will be fantastic as well.
Here's some highlights again from map number 1. As Optic Gaming wind up taking this is from Karma's perspective. As he was just going off at the break of that game. Impressive stuff. Here was that snap 2-piece. It's what it looks like from his perspective, from Codcaster. We obviously see the X-ray. They're basing everything off communication. Incredible stuff from him.
Yeah, I kind of like that because you see what it looks like. Obviously, you target these guys. It's so easy when we have the extra on with the color added to them, but there you can see, you have the character standing in front of a wall. Karma just snaps, spots him so quickly. Sick play from him.
Up next in our best of 5 will be Search and Destroy. You saw on the bottom left there in that lower third. Karma 12 first bloods this weekend in S&D. Search and Destroy, the slowest paced game mode of the 3 we play here, Matt. 1 life per round. Best of 11 rounds, basically first to 6 rounds will take the map.
Yeah, and last year, this is how you saw Optic lose. They were not able to win S&Ds. They come in this year, they change up some things, obviously new game as well. They're able to be a very good Search and Destroy team, maybe even one of the best, if not the best, in the game. They need to take this game number 2 here against Envy. You go up 2-0 here, Jack. Then you, obviously Envy undefeated in the uplink, but you still like Optic's chances, with a lot of momentum on their side.
Yeah.
You close this first series out quick.
That's what I thought earlier when they were facing off against Envy in that swing game 3. They played their best map and game mode combination, which was Precinct Uplink, and Envy kept control of it the entire, Frost Uplink, and they kept control of it the whole time and won that map. I can't doubt Envy and Uplink anymore.
I'm wondering, so we very rarely see a team come back in 2 best of 5s in a grand final.
Yes.
How important is it? Maybe if you're a new viewer, you don't know, but back at Stage 2 playoffs 2 weeks ago, $500,000 on the line. The last tournament before this weekend, Optic do just that. 2 best of 5s. They're able to take out Envy. How crucially do you think it is that they've done it before? Like that they know they are capable of doing it. It's got to be big, right?
It is, but it isn't. I mean, this is a different stage, a different environment than the Stage 2 playoffs. And I would say it's a different Envy team as well. I mean, Envy at the Stage 2 playoffs, could not get anything going in respawns. Their Search and Destroy was great. Slasher, a big reason why. See him sitting up top.
I mean, look at these numbers. 1.64 S&D KD, 4 plants, 2 defuses. He's probably the #1 reason why Envy have an overall record in Search and Destroy at 5-2. And you know what? Second on the leaderboard, his teammate, John, just shy at a 1.60. Ridiculous, ridiculous numbers.
It's just crazy to think about these two because, you go back a year ago, John considered one of the best SMG players in the game. Slasher, considered one of the best ARs. Throughout most of the year, the question was, where are those guys? I mean, you're talking 6 months into the year, we're still asking that same question. Yep. Where's that John? Where's that Slasher? Then suddenly, like a hurricane a month ago, they're back. It's champs time. And what I find so interesting, when I talked to JCap, the leader of this team, he told me just weeks ago, it felt like they had lost faith in each other. They didn't trust each other like they used to. They win Stage 2, and it seems like it solved all of their problems.
Envy needs to take this game, too. We'll get it started in just a bit. But man, the stage that this has here, Clint, and just the ability for Envy to repeat as champions, that is the most surprising thing for me. This is a team that, around Anaheim, I counted them out completely. I mean, if you would have asked me in my top 5 in the game, I probably would have even considered putting Envy up there. And somehow, they go to this pre-land together, they work as a team, and they somehow have found this magic, rekindle the fire.
I didn't even have them making it out of their Stage 2 group. Their group was so hard, I didn't even think they'd make it to playoffs, much less than make it to a final and out of the champs final. Like you said in the last series, if someone had said to you after Anaheim, which just a couple months ago, that Envy would be playing in another championship, I would have said you were nuts.
And you see the shot on the right side of your screen, that is JCap. Not only does he already have 2 Call of Duty World Championship rings under his belt, he's won them in back-to-back years. If Envy can secure this championship here, he would be the first ever 3 times Call of Duty World Champion with 3 rings under his belt. Envy as a team would be the first ever back-to-back World Champions as well.
And let's not forget, he was in a finals of another one and got second. So this is 4 out of 5 years he has found himself in the grand finals.
Yep.
Such an unbelievable feat in itself.
Well, I saw a tweet from former professional player Pac-Man a little bit earlier on today, and he said even if Karma were to win this and get a 3rd ring, is JCap's resume still more impressive because he has 2 rings, plus he has such consistent finishes where you finish outside of the top 6 a couple times if you're Karma. His resume is insane. Like, the guy, when it comes to champs time, all he knows is how to make it to top 3, make it to the finals. A wild, wild resume for Jordan Kaplan.
I'm of the mindset as one team goes home a winner, everybody else, regardless of placing, is a loser. So I take the 3 rings. I mean, it's definitely a very impressive feat from Cap, but if somebody's come here and won 3 of them, there's no argument with that.
Not only are they playing for these rings, but a hell of a lot of money for whoever wins, whether it's Karma or JCap. That player will be the winningest prize money console player of all time at over $550,000 earned. I'm looking back behind me, Maven. And Matt, I see the map has loaded on up. We're going into game 2. Search and destroy on throwback with Optic up 1-0.
Envy up first on the offensive side of things. It'll be Apathy watching the offsite. We'll swap over to JCap, who will be your bomb carrier. You'll see there, staring directly at this A site. He'll be looking for the plant.
And I wonder how much of gameplay Envy has watched coming into this, because we saw Optic play this the other day. Formal hits a snipe there to open things up with first blood, but a lot of smokes out of Karma. Look at that as, you know, as the game goes on. Maybe we see the smoke comes out as Formal with the sniper takes out 2. His teammates finish the rest. Optic will take round 1.
You know, I'll be honest. Formal was having some controller issues there for a moment. That's why we were delayed going into map 2. It seems like they're fixed with those shots there.
Yeah, you saw the camera shot, some admins working with them, make sure everything was okay. Like you said, seems just fine. That's a clean sweep. And, you know, we'll mention that sometimes in rounds when you kind of get 4 up, all 4 players are alive, you kill all 4. It's key because you know you have those payloads and your kills work towards those. Every time you're able to do something like that where Envy gets nothing towards those payloads, big round.
Well, we've already seen the sniper from Formal, wondering if the same is here from John. Great stuff from our observer, Brian Saint, to swap on over to him because he's going to be the guy trying to challenge Formal with the sniper rifle. He's got it in his hand. Looking like Optic want to go for the quick plan as well, as John's got to back up. He's been tagged up.
Yeah, tagged by an E-Red, I believe, as he was flying high. Can he get the opening pick? Almost there. Through the smoke. Trying to line it up. Nice shot on the Formal. It looks like we're going to be seeing a sniper rifle show right now, but mid-map with a pistol, maybe a little bit overzealous, but Scump will answer back, turn this into a 3v3. 30 seconds on the clock, quickly, down to a 2 versus 2. Nice shots from Apathy to pick it up, 1 versus 1. Scump, Slasher, 20 seconds on the clock. It's on Scump to defend and Slasher to defuse.
The bomb takes 7.5 seconds to defuse. Slasher will have to check the site. I think Slasher spotted him, he has. And he'll get there in time. Yes, he does. Envy will secure the round win.
It's a huge 1v1 clutch there from Slasher. You can imagine if Scump was able to win that, the crowd in here would have went nuts. And then, you know, some of these games, they go quick, the search and destroys. You know, it just takes, you know, a good first 2-3 rounds from a team. You start getting closer to streaks, getting closer to payloads, and then you find yourself completely out of the game. Big round there for Envy.
With teams this, you know, evenly matched, with these many, so many star players on the teams, you have to keep track of those rounds, those 1v1s, those clutches. Who comes up big? Chalk one up for Envy as we head into round 3. Let's see what they're able to do in this round.
John staying versatile, swapping back off the sniper to help his teammates. Peeks middle, misses some shots, and that'll let Crimsix get away with his life for a brief moment. They know where he is. They're looking for first blood onto him. You can see Apathy watching underpass. There it is. John strikes first. As Envy now have a 4v3, making a 4v2.
It's going to be on Formal and Karma to try and clutch. Karma gets 1. It's quickly a 2 versus 2. They could clutch this. Nice shots. Ooh. No, he doesn't finish it. Karma has to go big. He knows he has one close here at the fence. Has to reload and back down, and he's taken out. It got scary for a moment from Envy, but they take the round.
I mean, Matt, one more bullet from Formal right there, and I think that's a round win from Optic Gaming.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, that 2v4 scenario did not look likely. They even the odds quick. See, though, it was a great play there by Apathy. Just sit down at the fence, wait for his teammate to get close, and then go challenge the last player.
Back-to-back rounds now for Envy. The previous defensive round was an opening pick there from John with the sniper. Gonna check over the top. Nothing home. Getting aggressive at the mid-map. He spots Formal. Oh. That's a bullet to the toe.
Shot below the waist. We'll take 2 bullets to hit that one, though. That was to the chest as Scump gets dropped.
2 kills for Envy, but Optic answers right back with 3 of their own. There'll be Apathy here in a 1v1 going up against Karma.
Here we go. Apathy holding the edge. He spotted 1v1 to Karma. So we've had 2 1v1s now. Slasher takes the first for Envy. Karma takes the second for Optic Gaming.
Clutch here from Karma. Challenges and eliminates Apathy right there to tie the map back up at a 2-2 round count.
Damon Barlow, one of the most legendary Call of Duty players of all time. He has been so crucial for this team in search and destroy and in clutch situations. He led the team in the game 1 hardpoint. He's leading them now with a 5-2 start.
Scump peeking towards middle first. Optic, they want top middle control. They've earned it. Now what do they do with it right here? Trying to stop any plant. Look at how passive Envy are this round, staying on the right side of your mini-map. Those blue arrows basically still in their spawn. Not planting the bomb quite yet.
Yeah, they're trying to bait this out, because if they can get Karma to challenge a little bit too early, they can have that player at the back of the bus take him out. Slasher's going to get a lot of vision towards the mid-map. It's the first blood for Envy. Quickly traded back, though, as Formal picks up Slasher.
And now it's Formal all by himself. And he's going to look to push forward.
He has FTL. He's going to jump in. I don't know about that use. Maybe you get the first kill, then I think about it. But that's going to be a tough one to make.
And we always talk about how important first bloods are in Search and Destroy. That's 3 straight rounds. Envy is able to get first bloods there. Got to keep an eye on that. John with the sniper has been very effective at the beginning of these rounds.
Moving forward now into round 6. Formal sniper put away now as well. And Optic changing things up. Looking to hit a different side of the map. One player going to be here for the side of Envy. It's Apathy. And yeah, he's got to turn around and run as he was tagged up early on. And look at the mind games here from OG.
Thought Apathy for a second may have overpeaked and would get punished. But yeah, now as you wrap back, the scouting information you will get from the Scarab to realize they've rotated out. Checks all mid, nothing home. You know at this point they've gone to the A site, and you're just getting whatever you can. You spotted 2, you figure one's on the bomb site. You basically get all the information in the world you could use for Team Envious.
And look at John. He's going to be the one peeking towards this lower street side. They have no one watching top middle. Karma gets first blooded as well. Eyes on Crim 6, 4v3 for Envy.
Formal, though, as he picks up one with a nade, will drop. Scump and Crim looking to clutch.
Oh.
Crim by himself. 1v3, one underneath. He is gone. That's another round to Envy. 4-2. They've started taking over this S&D.
Another first blood from Envy and Slasher. Optic Gaming's going to come back in this Search and Destroy. They cannot get picked early. They need to be much smarter.
They need to be much more cognizant, too, of that wall run right outside that A site. Yes. They keep getting picked by a player still wall running. One of the best players we see in the game at that was E-United Silly. You slow wall run, hover, and just peek middle. Even if you don't get a kill, getting information for your team gives you peace of mind of where you know the enemies are coming from.
Well, you're getting into must-win round territory right now for Optic Gaming. So close, though. You saw Apathy very close to picking up that reactive armor, which can win a round by itself if he makes the right play. JCap holding fences now. But look at that green arrow that's worked up close. That's Karma right underneath their front window.
And Apathy was a standout player in this Search and Destroy earlier between Optic Gaming and Envy. I think they're going to push middle map for this first blood. He's been tagged up. No, he actually doesn't take damage from it, so Karma will be full health. They're going to soar on out. Down to a 3v2, another first blood for Envy, Matt.
See, Apathy will take out Karma. That'll leave Formal as the only one alive. He will drop. Jack, we keep talking about it, though. The first bloods going in favor of Envy yet again. And if it happens one more time, this map will be done.
Still need one more round if you're Envy. Optic gonna have to fight back. They won the crucial game 1, but you said this is an S&D they're very good at. They don't look very solid right now. We know we're going into one of Optic Gaming's worst uplinks, and that's where Envy's been dominant. You've got to mount the comeback here.
Envy are so good at punishing that slow top middle push from Optic Gaming. Sure, get to our bottom ticket window. We will make sure we pick you off with ease. Another first blood for Envy. 6 in a row, Matt.
You cannot let that happen if you're Optic Gaming. Maybe you're just playing a little bit too aggressive here, you know, just pushing some things out you normally don't. Karma answers back here, evens it up at 3 players apiece, but still, such a difficult situation for them to fight out of.
At Stage 2 playoffs, Optic Gaming led by a wide margin at teams to win rounds after they got first blood. So 3v4 scenarios, they were the best. Can they do it here? Reactive gets popped. That's going to throw him off entirely. He gets turned and burned all down. Game 2 to the boys in blue.
Apathy doesn't skip a beat in Search and Destroy, as you see. He yells there on the main stage. Envy tie it up 1-1, and I'm getting some flashbacks to the series we saw earlier today. Envy drop map 1 and then win 3 in a row to take that one.
Envy gets first blood 6 straight rounds. Optic drew first blood the first 2. Envy then the rest of the game led the way in that department. You see first bloods directly turns in around wins.
And again, it is throwback uplink next, and that is Optic's worst. And Envy has been on a tear in uplink, man. They were talking about the stats earlier, but they've just been absolutely dominant.
100% win rate.
That's good.
Not dropped one yet. Yeah, no, I mean, look, if you're envious, we get a little break here, right? You know, the players on the stage. If I'm like Slasher or JCap, I sit there with John and Apathy, I'm like, look, throw everything you have into this uplink. Because then you go to Scorch, game 4, you've already beaten them there. You think you have the advantage. As long as you see that game 5, Envy feels like it's going to be their series.
Optic need to take 2 best-of-5s to win this final. But for me, it all comes down to this uplink. Can Envy close the door, or can Optic bring it back? It's throwback uplink right after this quick break.
Your G Fuel key player matchup for the grand finals is between Scump and Apathy, arguably the 2 best submachine gun players in competitive Call of Duty. Scump with 15 total points this weekend in uplink at a 1.14 KD is why Optic Gaming have looked great in the game mode, but Envy have yet to lose uplink here at the Call of Duty World Championships, and Apathy has been lights out, a 1.20, one of the best of the weekend. Can Scump and crew take swing map number 3, or will Envy be 1 map away from another Call of Duty World Championship title? This has been your G Fuel key player matchup.
Welcome back to the 2017 Call of Duty World League Championship Series, tied 1-1. You got Scump on your left of Optic Gaming, Apathy on your right for Team Envious. Both players so crucial to their teams, and they got to go big on this throwback uplink.
Envy undefeated in uplink this weekend. It's a must-win map for OG. The next two maps after the Game 4 and Game 5 look very good for Envy.
We need to stress how incredible that is to not have dropped an uplink so far. For the amount of series Envy have played, ridiculous numbers.
Think about how stupid this is statistically for me. You look at Stage 2, your regular season to get in. Envy's best mode was Hardpoint. They struggled everything else. You get Stage 2 playoffs, their best mode by a wide margin is S&D. 2 weeks later, you get the champs. Their best mode is uplink. Like what in the hell? It's like every other week they have a best game mode. I don't get it.
It's just like in the NFL, right? I mean, you've got to peak at the right time going into the playoffs. Doesn't matter if the offense isn't there at the beginning of the season. You get the defense. You get everything on that same page. Once you get to the playoffs, you find yourself in the Super Bowl, and that looks like what Envy did here. They got all their game modes clicking at the right time.
We keep stressing uplink for all the new viewers out there. Uplink, a game mode where there's a central satellite drone. The players, they call it, well, a ball. Basically, you grab that ball, you grab that drone, and you move it forward on the map. It gives you extra armor when you're carrying it, but you cannot shoot. You have no weapon. You have to have your teammates protect you so you can move it forward. If you throw it into the portal, the enemy's portal, it counts as 1 point. If you can physically carry it on in and dunk it, it counts as 2. Some people say it's like basketball.
Yeah, I was saying, if you're a new viewer, it's very much like basketball. But this has been a strong game mode for Optic throughout the year. Uplink has been one of their more dominant game modes. I know a lot of time we talk about S&D being their best, but I feel like that's to a degree more recently. Throughout the year, they have been very, very good in Uplink. But the problem is this, Matt. It's throwback. And you and I have talked about it. They have like an 80 to 90% win rate when you look at Precinct and look at Frost. You get here, it's more 50-50. They, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's communication or what, we've talked about so many times, they allow flankers to get through, they don't check their close corners, they get shot in the back repeatedly. They gotta fix it here.
Yeah, Throwback is a map unlike a Precinct or a Frost, right? When you see the drone get picked up on either of those maps, you know exactly where it's going. You know where the gunfights are gonna take place. Throwback with the drone in the middle of the map, obviously such a wide open area.
Yeah.
There's so many angles to watch, so many places to look. And then we see, you know, on the offensive end, when the teams have the drone, just numerous ways to score it. You know, not a really preferred route like we see on a lot of other maps.
What I think is scary is I think this comes down to like 99%. It's just team comms. Like, yes, is it heavy slang? Sure. I mean, it is a first-person shooter. That is going to be crucial in this. But, you know, if you were watching the other day and you heard the comeback from Envy against the United, that was some of the best comms I've ever heard as they made that rally. No panic. They were calm. If they play like that here, I think we're looking at 2-1 Envy.
To everybody tuning in, welcome. Again, this is the Call of Duty World League Championship presented by PS4. Letting the players get a couple things fixed up on stage, and we'll hop right into map number 3. We appreciate your patience. To stress the importance of this matchup, that right there, the coveted trophy that gives you the title of Call of Duty World League Champions here in Infinite Warfare. For the Call of Duty World League this year, $4 million were up for grabs, continuing to improve and grow year on year. $1.5 million this weekend.
And it's a road, like you said. You know, we started all the way back in December, right? We had an event in Las Vegas to kick off the year. We've had a full league throughout the course, a ton of $200,000 open events, and it's all culminated with this.
Yeah, and for me to see every champs all the way back to the first one, you know, Black Ops 2, and just now, like from that venue to this, just the amount of players, the amount of fans, more money on the line. It's really been a treat to watch happen.
Rig draft has begun. Players selecting their classes. You see Slasher going on through right there. He'll be running an active camo payload here in game number 3.
And thanks, guys, for getting patient. Trust me, we're wanting to hop into this as quickly as we can. We mentioned maybe a controller issue for Formal before the previous map. It looks like it may have popped up again, so not sure if he's getting a replacement or it's fixed, but we are getting ready to hop into the game. And we'll see, man. Can Optic Gaming push this a distance, get us to a second best of 5, or will Envy close it?
And one way Envy can control this game is just obviously by controlling the drone, right? If they pick up the drone, they kind of play a little bit more passive with it. You know, maybe it frustrates Optic. You know, they start to push out a little bit more. Those kills come a little bit easier for Envy. Then you start knocking down the 1-point throws. And And then they get frustrated again. They have to come further and further out of that base. Make it easier on yourself if you're Envy.
If you've been watching all day here on Championship Sunday, Optic and Envy already played a series. Envy beat them 3-1, but in Uplink, Crim6 had his worst map of the weekend at double negative. Envy, the reason why they won in that was exactly that. They grabbed the drone, they kept the pace and pressure towards the side of the map they wanted, and they made sure Optic had to play into their hand. Maven, this statistically is Optic Gaming's worst map. I guess I'll ask your prediction. We haven't really talked about this much ourselves.
Prediction for Maven?
I'm not predicting anything for this series whatsoever.
Fine.
But if I was a betting man, you got to go Envy.
Okay, thank you for your prediction.
You're welcome.
Just had to make that
It's
tough.
just, I mean, they've been 100%.
Must have been really difficult for you to make that.
But
hold up.
Oh.
Is that supposed?
Who's the guy on the left?
I actually can't name any of those. I think the only thing that gives away Scump is the red hair. Formal with the hat. Okay, 2 for 4. I'll give you 2 for 4.
That was really tough to figure out.
I had no idea who
It was.
Crim6 or Karma was.
It doesn't matter, because you know what? We're going to get to see them in the flesh in game. Map number 3 starting up right now. We're back on throwback this time. It is Uplink. Make some noise, folks. Let's get into it.
Nice shots there from Slasher, and that is a duel you are going to see throughout the game on this bike path side of the map. Slasher versus Formal at long range. Ooh, another nice kill. And you know, when we look back to the Stage 2 playoffs, where these guys matched up, what stood out to me is Slasher was so good early and started to taper off a little bit once we got to the second best of 5. It would be huge for Envy to close this out in the first one. Don't even worry about that. Don't worry about any kind of slowdown.
Without a doubt. You see John running the NV4 here as well, as Envy has controlled mid-map. A little bit more AR pressure than we normally see on a map like Throwback. Obviously very small. You know, you get some more ARs out, Jack, you slow the pace of the game down.
Slasher trying to hold this middle lane. He's 4-1 off the break, a 4.0 KD. His counterpart in Formal, he's got the better of him so far in this game 3. Nice job by Scump to clear out his base alongside Crim6. As Optic Gaming get 3 down on Envy and look to go on the offensive.
Here we go. This is the big thing. He's going to spawn him out towards blue. They're going to wrap back, and Scump's got so much fun here. First one down, second one down. It's a party in the Envy base. There's a third to challenge. Come at me. He gets the better of him.
He did go at him.
He did. He certainly did. And they stop it. Like, how do you not get a point behind that as they're pushing forward?
The drone is just way too slow there for Optic Gaming. It needs to get into the base of Envy faster. That should have been points. And against a team like Envy in a situation like this, you can't have those opportunities to score go without getting points.
I will say, I do believe that there was a member of Envy who wound up overextending through the mid-train to slow down the pressure. Optic, I think their mistake came in where they didn't throw it forward for yards. Give Scump the option to wrap back, grab the drone himself, and throw it in for
there was one player cutting through that mid-tracks, and that, I mean, for me, is exactly what I was talking about with Optic. It's whether they don't count 4 dead. They think they have everybody, they lose somebody, and they're able to get in behind and disrupt. But for JCap, it's a 1-point toss, no interception there. Envy on the board first, and Apathy! 3-piece in the base. Somebody stop this man.
Hey, calm down. One of them was his teammate. One of them was John. Don't worry.
The dark
it
blue
looked
and the
really
dark
cool.
green.
It looked really
looked
cool.
awesome.
That's all that matters.
He was spinning around like a ballerina.
Make it a top 5 play.
There we go. That's fine. We'll take the team kill.
Optic looking to answer here. They've got the open lane. Karma for the throw. Connects as well. 1-1. Karma with a point. JCap with a point in this game 3.
JCap having another good respawn game. He was great in the game 1 on retail. Showing up here in game number 3, 11-5 start, currently on a 4 streak. You earn those Trinity rockets, you can do a lot of damage with them. As I say that, completely jinx him, he falls.
Well, John took drone out towards courtyard and tagged up. A couple in bar with bullets and with that grenade. Just trying to get him behind. Surely he'll find a free kill. Able to take down Karma. Drone still in an aggressive position. We only have 2 players left here on the attack for Envy. It seems like the defense will hold strong. Crim6, Scump, they clear it out. Now we're headed back to mid-map.
And you can see Envy had a strat to open up this map where they had so many assault rifles in hand. Basically no ERAD pressure. Now they've swapped back to a more, you know, straight-up fight. Nearly snaps there for the kill. Karma gets the 2-piece. This should be a dunk for Optic Gaming as they look to take the lead. There it is from Karma.
And look, they're going to all overextend through courtyard. I believe it's Crim6 out there waiting for him. Flushes them back to mid-map.
There's no one there for the drone map.
Yeah, I like that decision by Envy. Instead of wrapping back to the base, they go take the gunfights on the top side of the minimap. Now by doing that, they force Karma out of their own base back towards that mid. They've gotten control yet again.
And Scump, who we talked about, you know, the slow start in game 1, he started to assert his dominance here in the game 3. 14 and 12. But now a couple kills going the way of Optic, and going the way of Envy. And you take a look at mid-map, all those blue arrows, they're set up in position to make a play.
They're fully set up, and that's a big first blood onto Karma. Crimsix, his entire job to watch this field. He's the number 4 on your minimap. He's got his hands full right now, trying to stay alive. Slasher cuts down Formal. The 1-point throw is off from Envy, and it's good. They bring it back to a 1-point game.
2 1-point tosses for Envy. No interception there yet for Optic Gaming. You clear out your base, though. There's 25 seconds left to work with. You see JCap working towards overdrive. He's spotted one in the back of the bike path as well. That'll be Formal, who I think connects with a perfect grenade and 1 bullet into him. I think you've got a chance here, maybe, to get a score in the closing 10 seconds.
I mean, this looks good. They throw the drone over the building. They've got the yards they need. The nade misses. Karma now with the drone. 4 seconds left. Will he go for the dunk in the final moment? Yes, he will. Optic Gaming up by 2 possessions at the half.
Nice close to that first half. And again, we talked about how this could be a weakness, but the big thing I think is, for many, you're on the more preferred side in that first half if you're Optic Gaming.
It was funny. I was about to say, you know, Envy finally being tested in uplink, Matt, down at the half. Almost forgetting the E-United comeback they had yesterday. If you didn't get to see it, you have to go watch it. One of the more impressive comebacks we've ever seen in Call of Duty. Envy were down 10-0 at the half, scored 12 points in a row to win the game.
Yeah, and there in the first half, you saw Envy control the drone more than Optic Gaming. They're able to touch the drone 6 times there. Optic Gaming 4, but Optic Gaming has the lead here going into side number 2. You see Scump now has earned score streaks as well. Those will be huge.
I believe he has a 7 straight going through both sides and keeps it going enough to pick up the Trinity Rockets, to pick up the bombardment. Formal showing off as well with a nice wall bang. Spot Slasher. We'll see you later. We'll be coming off a spawn. 1 in window. Eliminated. 3rd. Almost with the snap. Things looking good in the opening half. Opening of the second half here for Optic Gaming as they've got drone. They're pushing towards Lemon.
Optic out slaying by 5 kills right now. John will now try to push forward with this E-Rad. He's only 10 and 13 right now. Scump is outclassing him.
Optic up 5-2 and trying to take the key swing game here in uplink. Let's toss it to Illicit.
Blue cap. Top green 1. Top green. Yo, get ball. Top green 1 shot. Top green 1. He's going for ball. He's going for ball right away. 1 shot. Slasher as well. He's going for ball. Where's he going? He might go shot for the 1. He's going for a shot. Nice. Come right. Come right. Miss it. I'm laying down. Play it. One's be cut. One's hold. One guy close. They might try to go. Cap was right. Top right. Top. He's there. Play it. Good job. Oh. One's next to Damon. Cap's out already. Dick Slasher, half health.
Stay alive. Light top red? Yeah, they did. Go hit B cut. I got your red underpass. Watch your red stairs. I want us to watch red stairs.
Top red on me.
Red underpass. He's going B cut front red.
Top red.
I got one B cut. Another one.
Left line of me, guys. Nice. Apathy, top red.
He's red sidewalk.
Top one train.
Both red sidewalk. Another one. App. He hit our side, I think. Nice, Ian. Caps up.
You want to wrap it right? Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
I'll go for ball. Yeah. You throw it right. Once week. I'm trying to watch you.
On a barn.
Let's go. I'm gonna streak. Ian, grab. Yeah, I got ball. Grab it. Come on. Everyone hold. I'm streaking. Go. Fuck it. Go. Everyone run forward. Go. I'm back right. I'm going all the way around. In the door. In the room. You can play one. Get a one, Ian. Get a one, Ian. Got it.
Shit, baby.
Oh my god.
Lemon spawn.
I'm close to the streak. And I'm Bodie.
Nice. Lemon spawn, right?
Yeah. Watch that absolute they're mid. Going on. Lemon John, absolute. He's going to green sidewalk.
He's behind the fence. 2 behind the fence. I'm staying down.
Caps one shot. Absolute. Got him. One more little left. John. Mid-map. Dead. Nice 3. Last guy. Might be cut. Green pocket or underpass. Stay up. I'm flanking.
I'm going Lemon.
You're on the street. Behind you. One shot. Oh, good. He's Lemon. He's going. Pushing our side. We got bottom barn. I got one. He's going green underpass. He pushed mid-map. Here. Apps on our side. Some more guys.
Yeah, Apps on our side. John, grab ball.
He's low left on me. Back. He's in bowling, guys. In bowling app. I'm getting top red. Watch out behind Chess again. Watch out behind Chess. He's in bowling now. Top green, Slasher.
Under 2 to play, and the lead extending now for Optic Gaming. It's 6-2. Matt, what stood out to you the most in that listening?
Just that play, that Scump ball towards the end. They were able to coordinate, picking up that drone, using that Trinity rocket and pushing on forward. There comes in the other streak. The bombardment takes out 2. So Envy, that's the second time they've touched a drone here in half number 2. Optic has had it in their possession the entire time.
And the big thing here, if you're trailing by 2 scores here like Envy, you have to look at overdrive, you have to look at camo. JCap has that overdrive. Slasher, a ways to go to the camo. I don't think he's going to see it in this game. So if you're Optic, just bide your time, play exactly the way you have been. You don't have to worry about those fearsome payloads.
Oh, this is probably Slasher's worst uplink game of the weekend so far. -7 right now, 0 points on the board. He's been struggling to match the slaying power that Scump has brought. He's been in his face all game. JCap trying to clear out this Optic Gaming base. They've got a lane to go. This is their chance to come back now, Maven.
Scump popping reactive, gets melted though, but they do get traded back. Final person there, the clear is in. Optic Gaming gets it out, and I agree. Jack, that may have been the final opportunity for Envy.
What a play from Crim 6-4. Also melts Apathy there with the NV4. 40 seconds left. Envy might lose their first uplink of the weekend.
Scump was the absolute key here. You have got to have aggression with your players up front, but can Crim get the dagger? The one away, 7-2. It's a 3-possession game, under 30 to play.
It's finally happened. 4 dead again on Envy. Optic have taken control of the base. This game is done. Envious aren't undefeated in uplink anymore. Optic up 2-1 in our first potential of 2 best of 5.
I asked you earlier, Matt, if you could throw stats out the window for this. That might be an example of why maybe you can, right? Envy undefeated. The worst uplink for Optic does not matter.
And if they lose this series, they're really going to be kicking themselves. Because the one guy you were probably worried about from this Envious roster was JCap. He has a fantastic game 1 on Retail. Slasher and John, non-existent. You come here to game 3, JCap puts up 29 kills. You get 19 from Slasher, 16 from John. Those guys play a little bit better in the respawns. Who knows what this series will look like?
And I can't speak to more. Crim and Scump were so crucial there. This is a map where if you can get your subs forward, like the reason Optic would struggle against teams like Luminosity, Saints, Classic, always in their face, never able to get comfortable, always playing off their back foot and spawn. Scump was just constantly harassing Envy, Crim hitting flanks, Karma hitting flanks when needed. That was impressive stuff from Optic Gaming.
How about this for an interesting note? This is the closest Optic Gaming as an organization have ever come to beating Envy in a series at a Call of Duty championship. The last 3 series, the only 3 they've ever faced each other in, Envy won all 3 at a 3-1 map count. Optic now 1 map away from making their own history within this organizational battle.
Envy, they do find themselves down, 2-1, but you go to Scorch. You've already beaten Optic on this map today.
Well, what do you think they did right? Like, why did they lose that score? Or sorry, what did Envy do right to beat them on that score? Was there something that stood out?
I mean, they just out-rotated them. I mean, TP's talked about it at length on the desk. They just don't rotate early enough. They just really rely on their slaying to break into these hills. If you don't pick up the kills, you're going to find yourself down by a lot. So if you're Envy, you come out the same game plan for Scorch. You go to a game 5. And then, I mean, you kind of talk like, look, there's no pressure on us. We have another series if we lose this map. All the pressure is on OG, and we're great in search and destroy.
But remember, Apathy in the first series was a monster, specifically in something like the Scorch, and he struggled in the first hardpoint. I know Retaliation, far different than Scorch when you're talking about weapon choice, the range of the gunfights you're going to have. But for you, Jack, do you expect Apathy to bounce back here?
He needs to. But in my heart, I truly feel it's Optic Gaming's time to force the second best of 5 to reset the bracket and go for that chance at this title.
I feel like John and Slasher are just way more of a key for Envy. Like, I think you can get through a game where Apathy doesn't play his best, and maybe JCamp puts together a game where he's around even or slightly negative. You cannot get by this team if you're not going to get production out of Slasher and John.
And this is not the first time, again, where we've seen it. There's multiple times. So we talked about stage 2, how Envy had to beat them, or Optic had to beat them twice. Go back to Orlando of last year, and Envy had a similar opportunity where they took the first best of 5, go to a second, Optic takes it. But these guys have been in a lot of extended series. These 8 players, it is so special to see.
We're breaking records and making history here at the Call of Duty World League Championship. 2 teams remain. Oh, look at that sign. No bling, not a king. Scump looking for his first ever ring today. Can Optic Gaming force the second best of 5? Let's find out.
Let's check out the opening break. I can tell you, at least from the last time they played, they're spawning on opposite sides off the rip. Favorable side to Optic Gaming here, which will give them a nice chunk of time, or it should give them a nice chunk of time, as it's a little bit easier to get control early. Slasher wants none of it, though, as he cuts down 3 and gets a nice angle here on Cave.
Slasher's like, I will make sure we get to this final search and destroy. 3-0 off the break. Envy spawning on the left preferred side, Matt, and still outplaying Optic off the break.
It's a great start here for Envious. Slasher putting some shots down. He will finally drop. But if you're Envy, you take a lot of time, Jack, and you control those spawns. You're in a good shape. But look at this. The bottom side of the minimap, you see everybody from Envy spawning out. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Karma to pick up these kills. And you see in the kill feed, he does fall. That's going to make Crim6 back all the way up here, trying to get it set up for Turbine.
And you hope you get a favorable spawn for Karma over by Turbine, but he spawns in Hangar. He's got to go the whole way across the bridge, wrap back, try to turn this into a 4v4 gunfight. But Scump and Crim6 seem up to the task for now, as they'll find the opening 2 picks and get into the hard point.
Karma always playing a step ahead of his opponents, it seems. He's now behind multiple players of Envy. John eliminated as well. That'll force Envy to push in an awkward scenario. You see Apathy, he's got to wait for his team, but Crim6 spots him. OG pushing out these lanes may have been a sign of a great control kill from a team.
Exactly, because each of those kills you get, it delays the push that can come in. You see Krem dropping just a little bit short of that bombardment, but you know, Karma dies in that position, he spawns right back with his teammates. For Envy, you're spawning the whole way out in Rocks, whole way out in Hangar and having to wrap back. But now with 20 seconds, coming up shortly are gonna be the key gunfights as we transition to the next hard point.
Yeah, if you're Envy, you give up on this. You have Apathy here. Already pushed up way too far. He will fall. But it's really these engagements on the other side of the map. Slasher's able to get 1. Envy can get right back into this. You're able to hold Hangar. There's only really 3 entrances in. You get a few kills here. If you're Envy, you find yourselves back right in it.
And these stats right now, a little bit more reminiscent of those Stage 2 playoffs, where it was Slasher boasting a 1.33 KD through days 1 and 2, and the rest of Envy a little bit slow in the respawns. So the other 3 need to pick it up right now if they want any chance.
I was gonna say, exactly, when that was how that it worked, they weren't winning respawns, right? It was all through search and destroy. So we'll see what JCap, John, and Apathy can do to supplement the slaying prowess of Slasher. Doubling up their opponents right now, though, is Optic Gaming.
This is a lot of good time here for Envy. John had dropped in the back, and they had lost the spawn. Slasher's able to get 2, trying to find 1 more. Not able to take out Karma. There is the break that Optic needed. 30 seconds left, still on Hangar.
That was almost a 1v4 hold from Slasher. I mean, he got awfully close to making a play, and maybe even giving spawns to his team, but you get that remaining, 25 or so seconds here for Optic. You push the lead out again, and now we'll head over to Drill.
And here's an example, maybe where we see a streak come into play. Optic up by 1 full minute again. The time they need to reach, 250 seconds overall, just shy of halfway there. Just shy of forcing the second best of 5.
Now you saw Crim6 earn the streak early in this one. Trinity Rockets will be great for breaking Turbine, maybe breaking into Drill. Here we go. Speaking of it, they're out. Apathy, the first target, not going to be able to connect. Just scouting it, hovering it right now, and will pick up Slasher. Now they'll try to break through.
And it looks like they'll do just that. You see Crim6, he only gets 1 kill with the Trinity Rocket, but it's important to stress, Matt, for people at home. In competitive Call of Duty, streaks aren't all about just getting kills. It's about forcing your opponents out of position.
Yeah, I mean, you have that missile over the Drill Hill. It's going to force everybody on Envy.
Clear on out.
Into cover, yep. And you're going to run right into the guns of Optic Gaming. But if you're Envy, you've worked this down into a manageable game, Jack. So what I like on the side of Envy is that they forced out that Trinity Rocket. Do you think John is going to, play as poorly? Maybe Cap turns up, you get Turbine. Then you're right back in this game. You put a ton of pressure on Optic to close it out.
Look at the scoreboard for Optic Gaming. We talked about being able to survive a slow start from Scump or Formal. You're getting a slow start from both, and you're up 50 points right now. That, I think, is a very scary stat for Team Envious.
Well, I think the big thing is because Slasher's really there slaying. Look at JCap, 2 and 9. His worst map so far today. Non-existent in the slaying right now for the boys in blue.
He's got 4 in a row. Can we switch over to Karma right now? There's the 5th, 15 and 9, 200 off the Trinity Rockets, and awfully close to picking up that camo payload. He has been brilliant on Championship Sunday.
And I was talking about it before this map even started. You had 2 very good respawns from JCap. You needed to take advantage of those when you've got the good games out of Cap. Now having a rough one here, 2 and 11. You are getting a good game from Slasher, though, trying to keep Envy in it.
That's what's scary. I mean, you kind of expect maybe one of those games going to happen from Cap. I mean, we've seen them in the past where he can sometimes be a liability. We know the tangibles, the intangibles he brings to his team. But can he pick it up over the second half of this game?
Optic have a timing window right here. They've got to go before the pinch comes in. It's developing now from Apathy on the top side of your mini-map. He peeks on in, cuts down Crim6. Karma now dead in the hill. Envy, they should be able to hold this one unless there's a miraculous play from Formal.
Well, he does get a kill. Can he turn it into more? Oh, Karma won't forget that one. 180. But Slasher still holding inside. He has camo to go.
So now you're going to take the last 30 seconds or so here if you're Envy. And I think if you can get Optic to panic, right? The score getting closer. Optic had a huge lead. Maybe they push out from Hangar and you're able to get to that side of the map.
JCap just got his 3rd kill. He's 3 and 14.
Oh, 3rd ringer, 3 kills. Serious?
At this point, who knows?
Well, I mean, look, the guy's got 3 kills. They're still in this game. It just shows you how good Envy is on this map. And what did I talk about? Maybe you're able to take Turbine and you get the rotation to Hangar. They pick up all the kills. They're in control at the start of this hill.
This is insane. I mean, you're literally surviving a 0.2 KD from Cap right now and holding inside. He gets one more, but the break comes in for Optic right when you thought we might see a lead change for the boys in blue. It's the green wall coming on through.
Karma, one of the better players in this top Hangar hardpoint. He typically hits that high wall run. Slasher knows it, so he immediately explodes that Scarab, picks him up as he's weak. Here comes the challenge, 1-1 by Formal. The trade should come in though, JCap dead. John trying to stay alive, able to get one, and FTL to safety. Again, trades is the theme right now on Hangar.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get a lot of time for either side, just because so back and forth, it's so heavily contested. The lead ends up being pretty similar to when we got here in the first place.
But if you are Envy, just remember, they already burned that one streak that Crim had on Drill. You go over to this hard point. Maybe you get a pinch going. You do have Slasher with the active camo for the side of Envy over on Turbine when it comes up.
JCap on the pinch, Formal, the late reaction time. Punished because of it. 1 versus 1 now for the hill. It looks like Optic Gaming come out on top.
Envy down 30, trying to mount an incredible comeback here on Scorch. Let's listen in.
All good. We're only down 30.
We gotta get blue control.
He's flanking Cliff again.
Blue control here.
He's gonna come middle. One's gonna come middle.
Call the car. Car's going. Another car. I'm one shot elbow.
One shot too. He's in blue set.
One weak and he'll donate. Another car.
All good. They used all their shit right there. All good. They used all their shit.
What's the blue? What's the blue side?
He holds right here.
He's middle.
We can do this, man. Set that.
One's in old. Hold the flank, someone.
I'll hold down.
Getting a new.
One could flank cave.
He did. Flank cave. He's hitting it.
Cave dead. I'm one shot.
Stay up. He's on you middle. Nice. Cave.
I'm the other side.
Stay alive, I'm coming back.
Slow stuff. Dead. One shot, weak their side. Do that. Alright, we're winning this fucking game. Winning this fucking game right here.
I'm checking Hangar.
Yeah, go for that.
Top ball.
The last thing he hears from Slasher, we are winning this bleeping game. Can they do it? They've had incredible comebacks all weekend.
It's a family show.
Let's see if they can do it.
They have 1 payload, and it might just be the best they can ask for in active camo from Slasher. Will it be enough, though, for them to make this miraculous comeback?
You get 1 hold on Turbine.
Optic spawn out
Get
too.
across map. Yep, this is looking good for Envy here at the beginning. You get a hold here, and let's say for argument's sake, Karma uses that camo and they get nothing for it. This is one where Envy will definitely end up taking the lead.
Several down, all down right now for Envy, and they are in. Karma's got the camo here. You get the final 5 seconds. Envy spawning out. You're set up for Turbine. This should be the game, but it's all going to be on the Centurion and also on the camo from Slasher. Will he be ready for this?
1 final push is all they have. Optic Gaming 8 seconds away. The challenge from Slasher. Can he find a kill?
He's in. He's behind. 2 kills to Envy, but Scub and Formal there to trade it out. Karma, Scub, Formal, they clear house. Series 1 goes to Optic Gaming.
The Amway Center are on their feet right now. This place is electric as we're going to a second
between these two incredible teams.
And you saw Envy, they rotated that Turbine Hill, but all the kills went in favor of Optic Gaming. If Envy swings a few of those in their favor, now the score starts to get close to about even. The camo comes out from Karma. Maybe you saw the rest of that timeout, and you give yourself a chance to come back in that one. But man, that first series, exciting one.
I don't know if you could have wrote a script better than this, but the first series to Optic. Next, we've got another best of 5. It's getting crazy here in the Amway Center, but we've got our professional analysts available. I want them to break this down. Ben, buddy, take it away.
Thank you very much, Maven. Well, Optic Gaming reset the bracket. We're going on a second best of 5, and that series was crazy, very crazy. Phil, I was looking at you during that last map. I was like, I believe this is going game 5. You thought otherwise, and you were in fact correct. Optic Gaming looking very, very good. And team, I asked the question to you as well. From a player standpoint, if you were a Team Envious, if you were on that main stage right now, you've just had the bracket reset against you, what goes through your mind?
Just trying to calm down and figure out what was going wrong. Optic made a lot of adjustments compared to that winner bracket final we saw between these two teams. I think Envy realizes that. Right. And on that map number 4, what are you really going to do when someone like Cap is going that far negative? You don't think it's going to happen again. It's mostly just slowing it down and finding a way to shut down the players on Optic Gaming as much as possible. On that map number 3, you saw Scump take over. Yep. Map number 4, Krim was having a beast of a game with that E-Rat. Right. Try and slow the game down as much as possible should be the goal.
Well, we'll go ahead and break down that first best of 5. We'll start with map 1. Of course, this one goes Optic Gaming's way, Merc, and it was the perfect start that Optic needed.
Yeah, this is what we talked about, right? In this pregame, I felt like if Envy was going to take this series, they needed this map. But Optic, 3LG, they come to this very, very hot. It was a weird start to this game because you felt like Envy had control. They were getting the kills early on Bridge, but they weren't picking up time. Towards that lower street, again, they left 15 seconds to set up for that Cathedral Hill. Well, Optic breaks them. A very good job by them. Envy, they just weren't picking up the kills. There was times when this game got pretty close, but then Optic went away from it. Just a great game overall from Formal, from Karma.
Yeah, and I mean, even when they gave up that 3, 10, 15 seconds of time, if you're going to do that, you need to make sure you lock down the spawns. Well, JCap, he has an engagement. The player's on his steps. He's on a nice little head glitch in the back, but he flies out. He takes the challenge for absolutely no reason, of course. It was on Optic Gaming. If they're trying to push into the hill, they have to force the action, but JCap does that. He falls, the entire thing collapses, and then you're just off to a terrible start.
Yeah, terrible indeed. There, the final score, 250 to 135. Then map 2 comes through, and just when you're thinking, okay, all right, Optic Gaming, we see you starting off strong. Team Envious come out, and it was a comfortable win moment.
Yeah, it was, and this is where the crowd really started to heat up, especially when Formal picked up the sniper. But, and it was a big but there, Envious, they kind of showed, you know, what they can really do against a team like Optic Gaming, and this is what we talked about previously. I've got to say, this is like, you know, Formal and John Sniper. This is entertainment. This is Call of Duty's finest right now. But Envy, for me, they were that more methodical team, and I think Optic Gaming, they were caught out a couple of times. And I think that's really what was shown